What's going on, guys? This episode is brought to you by TrueClassicTees.com. And as you can see, this is the best fitting, most comfortable tee on the market. So a lot of times I want to go out and I need a t-shirt or a v-neck or a long body or something to wear that it doesn't necessarily have any type of writing on it or any emblem, any logo. And I can never find the right fitting shirt. It's always some kind of cotton shirt that looks really baggy or doesn't fit right. Or after wearing it for a few hours or an hour, it just gets all loose and shitty feeling. True Classics keep their form. As you can see, it fits a little bit snug in the shoulders, a little bit snug in the arms, but loose on the body. So whether you're in shape or out of shape, it's going to look good on you. And I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about. So if you take a look at this video, you'll see that a regular shirt versus a True Classic shirt and the fit, right? This guy's not necessarily in the best shape, but with the True Classic shirt, looks way better on him than this baggy shirt that's all like wrinkled and loose fitting. Also, if you want to go to their website, it's trueclassictees.com/RBP for 25% off. You see all the different shirts they have. These are all the tees. And as you go down, you get some collared shirts and you get some long sleeves and some long bodies. And then you also get bottoms. They also have different types of joggers, shorts, and they even have boxers and stuff like that. Guys, get 25% off at trueclassictees.com/RBP or use code RBP at checkout to get 25% off. You will not be disappointed. Best feeling material I have tried on a regular tee. Hello, James.
Hello, Fouad.
I can't do the voices. I can't do the voices, James. See?
You can do the voices, Fouad.
I can't.
You just go like contort your neck, like just go. You know what I mean? The more contorted you are, the different you sound.
Hello, James. How are you, sir?
No, that's not bad. That ain't bad.
I'll work on it. Do
you remember Saw the movie?
What movie?
Saw. You watched Saw?
Oh yeah, I've seen Saw.
You know that's like, hello, Amanda.
Yeah.
Play a little game. inside the box is a key, or some shit like that. That's what you got. Anyway,
that's bang on.
Got my
Iron Brew. I still haven't tried it. I gotta order some. I gotta order some today.
Useless fucker.
It's
been like how long?
I know you. I got my Starbucks.
It's not the same. It's not the same.
Is that caffeinated?
I think so. I think they are. I think they've probably got like 30 grams of milligrams.
It's not enough. There's like 300 in here.
Yeah. I have had coffee today though already, so I thought I would be, a bit sensible.
Why
just took a clenbuterol as well, so I need to chill.
Why don't you wait and have a coffee with me?
Sorry, my cat just, I don't know. What's up with you, mate? Anyway, why don't I wait to have a coffee with you? Because here it's like 6 p.m.
Oh, that's right.
Not too late. No, I could probably have a coffee up to about 7:30 and be fine.
Yeah, me too.
I think. Yeah.
So, James, we were talking about men getting makeup done for shows, and you said that eyeliner makes you look better.
I've had eyeliner on when I did the cosplay, and I was like, I really looked in the mirror, and I was like, I like how I look.
Yeah, but it's because you got a whole outfit. If you just
no. After I washed off the outfit and the eyeliner was like the only thing left, I was like, hey. I was kind of like contemplating leaving it on for a few days and seeing if anyone says anything. You know what I mean?
I want to see. I want to see if I can see what you look like again. I forget. Hey, this. Where did he go? Shit. Oh, we got some new news today that we just dropped. We'll talk about it in a minute, though. Cool. James. Hollingshead, the shed. All right. Where's your cosplay outfit? This is crazy wild, by the way.
Do you like that?
Yeah, man. That's looking really, really good, dude.
Thank you. That means a lot.
I'm excited. Dude, how many we got left? 3 weeks?
Yeah, 3 weeks. 3 weeks on Sunday coming.
You're still in really good spirits too. No, you're not. Doesn't seem to be slowing down. You don't seem to be slowing down at all mentally. Like you're still there.
because I think that there's just the balance of when I'm feeding back up and the amount of output I'm doing is just keeping me borderline. Like in a few days' time, don't get me wrong, I'll probably be like, oh, but then I'll kind of be due to eat a little bit again. So it's kind of balancing it out. And I'm not putting the pressure on myself. I don't really like, as much as I do care if I do well, of course, but I mean, I'm not like, I don't know, the pressure's just different. I haven't put the same sort of pressure I normally put on myself.
Wait, let's come back to this. So this is you.
Zoom into the face.
I can't. Let's see if I can zoom in. No,
God, no.
It's getting worse.
He's made it disappear instead. But yeah, you see the eyeliner. So then imagine everything else off. Yeah.
That's the best we can do. So James, you think with none of this going on and just your normal outfit plus the eyeliner, you would look great?
I
can see that.
concur.
Justin out of nowhere. I can see that.
Justin knows. Justin knows.
Mm-hmm.
So me and James were talking about, well, we were talking on the circles. And for those people asking what the circles are, if you sign up to the Telegram app and look for Senapani circles, you can get involved in basically a video group chat between me and a whole bunch of other pros. Me, James, Flex Lewis, Jay Cutler, Evan, Antoine, Juji Mufu, Jose Raymond. Am I missing anybody? Chris Tuttle.
It's quite the list.
Frank McGrath.
Always forget someone.
Yeah, it's a big list, so we forget somebody. Anyway, what's going on, Justin? How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Do you think you would look better with eyeliner?
I know I'd look better with eyeliner, but I don't have the confidence to do it.
See,
this is such bullshit. You guys are fucking with me. I know you are.
I mean, you know that would pop
more. Ask Ian the same question. I bet Ian says the same.
Ian's gonna say it just to piss me off. Do you think you would look better with eyeliner?
No.
I thought you were I thought he was going to troll me so hard on that one.
Who's wearing eyeliner?
I was ready for the yes.
James thinks if you have a beard, you look better with eyeliner.
I do.
You know, like that guy from Lost that always looks like he's like naturally got eyeliner on. Do you know the guy I'm talking about?
No.
Let's Google him.
1 second. Yeah. I'm going to show Ian. This is James.
Yeah, I know this picture. Yeah,
with eyeliner. He thinks if he got rid of all of this and just left the eyeliner, it would look great.
I mean, it certainly would look more dramatic.
It would definitely be dramatic. Yeah.
The reason it came up is we were talking about men getting their makeup done for shows.
Sure.
Which is now a thing.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know about it till the most recent show we promoted. But men are getting their fucking makeup done. Is this crazy, or am I just the old school boomer?
Have you guys, Justin or James, have you guys done it before?
I've never done it before.
I want to confirm something.
But I've been on stage and had stage shots where I'm smiling. I look like a fucking maniac because the tan looks like shit on my face.
I did make up one show and it looked terrible. I never did it again.
Why did you do makeup on your face though?
What?
James.
Did you do eyeliner?
You got one.
I didn't do eyeliner, no.
Well, there you go.
Why did you do makeup?
Was it like?
Can you tell me?
The tanning company just suggested, they're like, do you want to do makeup too? And I'm like, I don't know. Is that a good idea? And I'm like, they're like, yeah, it's just a little more like, you don't look so like, you know, white eyes in the dark face. Like it's a little more natural, like gradient of, and I was like, all right, I'll try it. But it looked like I had makeup on,
Yeah.
Remember, Ian's t-shirt makes sense.
Yes. It didn't make me gay. It just looked bad.
I didn't say anything about it being gay. It has nothing to do with sexuality. I just think nobody.
Brad Rose did it all the time.
But you're not.
Brad
Rose is like a model. It's different.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like we're not models.
We're all like models.
Was the makeup bad, or did it just not look good on you? Was it just a bad makeup job?
No, it didn't. Okay, look, it didn't look bad. In the stage shots, it doesn't look bad or anything weird. I don't know. It just looked like, like when you have like girls have foundation on, you have that like kind of cakey look to the face. Like I had that. It looked like a girl. Like I don't like this. This is weird. I'd rather just have an ugly tan face,
Yeah.
Well, because my thought process is no one's judging your face anyway.
No.
But what I will say is the guys that were getting the makeup done were classic guys generally and men's physique guys. So those guys do kind of get judged on their looks, don't they?
Yeah, I could see that being a little more important in those classes. Yeah.
Like if Chris was ugly, would he still be Chris?
No.
so there you go. Does Chris wear makeup?
No.
He doesn't have to. He's too good looking.
He's Chris.
Yeah, if he did makeup, he'd be way too good looking. So he
Way
just,
too good looking.
Universe would
he's
implode.
got to be. He's got to be relatable a little
Yeah,
bit.
I always find Chris. I think Chris looks like Jude Law quite a lot.
very much so.
Yeah, that's a good.
I really do
Well,
think that.
if you actually compare, they look a lot alike. A lot of people have said this. Yeah.
Ian, it's good to have you back, man. Where you been? People have been bugging the fuck. They think we're fighting.
Well, we were fighting.
They think you quit the podcast.
Well, we were fighting, but we're over it now, so I'm back. Yeah.
What were you fighting about?
What was you two fighting about?
Because I
I
said
don't
he
know.
didn't have,
I forget now, but like it's bygones be bygones.
I
you know?
remember. I said he
You guys
didn't
were
have,
fighting.
I remember I said I didn't have
Oh yeah, you said I had fat glutes. Yeah.
I said no, that's not what I said.
Oh,
I
did
said-
you cause an issue there?
I said he didn't have striated glutes, and then Ian disappeared from the podcast.
Yeah, that was it. I'm very sensitive, as the viewers know. So when you insulted my glutes, that is
There has to be consequences.
It's one of my pride and joy. I had to let you know that won't just go over easy. You know?
You punished
Well,
me
that
for it.
shit don't fly.
I know. But Ian, you don't have striated glutes. Come on. Let's take a look.
He does, but I think what you misworded what you were trying to say,
No, I said what I said.
because you were meant to say, like, you know how like flexors,
Look,
like you can put your fingers
Well,
in
I'm
the
not
hole.
on stage flexing my glutes here. This isn't even
you're
this year.
flexing your glutes. You can see the line there.
Oh yeah, you got them fuckers nailed. Like you didn't know the photographer's there.
Okay, and they're striated. Look at them.
No,
We can
they're-
say this. Ian
they're
does have probably
hard.
some of the biggest glutes.
But this isn't even this year. This is the Olympia where my glutes were peeled out of my mind.
Here. Wait. There.
That's a back shot.
It's a back
A
shot.
front shot. Yeah, exactly. A back shot
dare
from
you.
the front.
All right.
There,
Wait.
click that. Click that
Well,
side shot.
yeah, the
No,
side shots.
here. Bang. There. It's like it's striated, but your glutes are so big. It's just
Yeah, I know. I've honestly, I've been intentionally trying to downsize my glutes to not have them look so
You
overwhelming.
do have
In my-
a big old ass.
2018
It looks impressive.
In my defense, you remember what your glutes looked like when you were like 23.
Oh, look, the
They were
Vancouver Pro was certainly not my best glute striation depth. You know,
No, but you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. I'm not talking about conditioning. I think you've just put so much muscle on.
they don't get as deep lines
Yeah.
as they used to. No,
Yeah,
I agree.
Yes.
That's
When
what
you
I'm
look at
talking
like that picture of like Ottawa's 2013 and like when I was an amateur, my
Yeah.
glutes, like you could put like pennies in, you know?
about. They were
Yeah.
like Flex Lewis glutes.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
Derek Lunsford glutes or like,
And
like
obviously, and Flex never had to push his weight up to a degree where the hypertrophy caused that issue to happen. Because not issue, but you do get so full up that you change how you look.
The muscle gets so thick. Yeah.
that. Yeah.
So
You know, and it's like at this point now, even if I got as more condition I've ever in my life, they would look the same at this point. No, you're right. Yeah.
yeah. We got some big news. What do you guys think of Dean White?
Yeah, he's great. That's Ben's guy, right?
We just
Yeah,
signed
Dean's
him.
awesome.
Congratulations.
Dean's officially a hostile athlete.
So I'm assuming that means you're going to be making the public announcement.
Well, yeah, I think we just
I mean, obviously, yeah, but you haven't posted
Just did it right now.
no, we just did it on our Instagram today.
Oh,
You
so
did?
tom-
Okay, I didn't see that.
so when I drop this video, we'll
This
everybody will
guy's
know
gonna
about it.
stir up some. This guy's gonna stir up some noise at the 212 Olympia this year. I think for sure.
This is
Yeah, he's
Dean.
very
for those-
good.
for those people who don't know. He won his pro card like 3 months ago, and then the next day he won the pro show.
Yeah.
That was attached to that amateur show, and now he's getting ready for the Arnold UK.
Yeah, he's
I
fucking
will
good.
say this. I remember mentioning him about a year ago.
I know you
on
did.
here.
I know
Yeah.
you did.
Yeah, just not because I'm trying to get there's no like ego. I'm just saying.
I'm not trying to. I'm not
I
trying to-
knew that he was
Yeah, he's good.
on his way.
Okay, so I'm not just bringing them up to plug him for Hostile. I actually have a question. Do you guys think he can win the 212 Olympia?
Eventually.
Well, this depends. There's obviously a lot of caveats in this conversation because is Derek doing it? Is Sean doing it? Like who's doing the 212 Olympia? I don't even know anymore. You know.
Let's assume Derek is moving up and Sean is not. Not because I know anything. Let's just guess.
I don't think he can beat Sean. I think he could probably edge out Kamal.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think he looks better than Kamal from the front, but
Mhm.
I think from the back, Kamal's a bit more complete.
I think Kamal might have
So-
a better back. Yeah.
I
Yeah,
agree.
Kamal's got one of them backs that's got a lot going on.
Look, and obviously, and you know, if it's a close competition too, I think being an ex Mr. Olympia or 212 Olympia champion in Kamal's regard is obviously counts for something, you know.
I think
Side shots, though.
I think he can win the side shots over anybody. And this
I think he can absolutely win some shots, but but I mean, Clarita's very tough to beat in the 212, even though he's 175 pounds. You know,
I'm gonna venture out and say if he can get the back,
top 5 for sure.
If he can get the back to match the front, he could win the Olympia.
Yeah, he's certainly in the first call out, in my opinion, for sure. I mean,
yeah.
So that's why I said eventually, because I think once he gets his back where it can be, then I think then he'll be extremely troublesome for anybody of any size.
Right now, Clarita's back shots are fucking good.
They're the lat thickness is just like
and Clarita's fullness, like his roundness and fullness is just like unparalleled.
Coleman, isn't he? He's like that mini Coleman. It's just crazy.
We're forgetting about some other guys too. I just see if I can remember this guy's name. Ole. This guy has always fucking blown me away.
Which is the guy that's in the Open this year?
That's Angel.
Oh, he's good.
You're thinking
Angel Calderon,
yeah. This is Ole. Look at this fucking the muscularity of
legs.
this guy. Yeah.
This crazy conditioning and muscularity.
Look at this. This is fucking absolutely.
That's like European shit.
Yeah, that's European shit for sure.
Look at this. Man. This is fucking nuts.
Yeah.
So he's definitely not going to have a walk in the park. Like these guys are all very, very good.
Those adductors are crazy.
I know, right?
They are.
I wish I had the ability to pop my adductors like that and get that level of contraction still in my glutes, you know?
For sure.
It's like I can pop my adductors, but then my glutes don't have any good lines, you know?
It's really hard to do, isn't it?
Yeah, like look at that. That's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't think he's popping his adductors. I think he's just so thick.
Oh, I think he is. He's got a slight pop in his hips.
No, he's popping the little.
He's not cranking the glutes all the way in.
I don't think so.
I do.
This is fully flexed. He's pulling that all the way forward.
Yeah, it's fully flexed, but it's not
fully flexed. But he's also popping his hips back a little bit to get that.
Yeah, he's definitely pushing his arsehole out towards us a little bit.
Yep, for sure.
He's doing a semi Regan, you know.
I know when a guy's pushing his asshole towards me.
Is he pushing his asshole or ass? James, you have to go one step
if you
further.
push your arshole's coming this way as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then is it Angel?
Angel, yeah.
Angel's a big lad.
Is it Angel?
He's done really well last few years. He's
qualified for the Open. I don't know if he's doing the Open, but he's qualified for the Open. This is 2018.
Oh, this is now.
Yeah, it's just showing you.
That wasn't very impressive.
I was like, oh, what the fuck? Yeah, no, he's.
I think another one of these European guys with crazy dense muscularity and conditioning. You know,
I think Ole would do better in the Open than Angel would.
I don't know.
I think structurally.
Well, I don't know what they are in terms of height and weight comparatively.
This is 240 right here.
So
I don't know the height. I'm assuming
he might be a structurally a little bigger guy than the other one, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm honestly not sure. They're both pretty short guys, I think.
It's crazy when you see somebody like Dean, you're like, yeah, that guy could win the Olympia. And then you start looking at the competition and you're like, the fucking 212 class is actually pretty stacked.
It's crazy. But I will say that people like Dean, their flow and their structure does sometimes carry them above some slightly more muscular guys.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like Flex Lewis. Like some of these guys, like Ole, for example,
more muscle
is probably thicker, but I think Flex's shape would carry him over.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see how that goes. So, Ian, what have you been doing for the last couple of weeks?
I'm back in Canada right now.
Doing what?
Nice.
See this beautiful Canadian scenery here.
It's actually quite refreshing.
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, the weather's so nice. It's like 17, 18 Celsius. Great. We have a wedding. Melissa's in a wedding party. She's one of the bridesmaids for one of her best friends in a wedding tomorrow. So we're back. And obviously we haven't been to our house in a while, so we're back to visit and see family and all that kind of stuff.
Melissa's there with you?
Yeah, she's here, yeah.
Ah, that's good.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, it's her first time back in a while, so it's good. It's good to be back.
Right on.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
James, you're 3 weeks out?
On Sunday, yes.
When are you going to start suffering? You don't look like you're suffering at all.
So you seem quite chipper.
Yeah. When
I got no money in my account and I stopped buying skates. It's because of that. If I wasn't buying those things, I tell you, I'd probably be a miserable fucker right now.
I watched that video you posted of you skating. The best part was watching Yannicka skate, for sure.
Oh, she's cute.
So
I love her more now than I did a few days ago.
Why? Because of skating?
It's because she looks cute in a helmet and with her skates on.
Can she skate well or not really?
Huh?
Can she skate well or not really?
No, she was terrible at it.
No, she's brand new to it. But I give her props because she's going straight at it. She's not scared.
Good.
So
Justin's
to
not
grind.
Justin's not holding back, eh? She's horrible. She sucks.
No, she's the worst, actually.
How
Oh, no,
much,
she's an atrocious skater. Fuck me, terrible. She goes around in the ring.
James, how much flack do you get online from people telling you you shouldn't be skating close to a show?
Ian, I thought I was going to get a shitload. I've been getting like none. It's really weird.
Great.
Yeah, because before when I
good.
did it last year, I did like
Yeah.
one outing, and I was getting hammered. And then
Yeah,
this
remember,
year,
that's why-
people were
that's
like,
why
this
I-
is brilliant.
Isn't it nice
Weird.
when people mind their own fucking business?
Right.
Well, I think it's funny because I think James has prefaced this whole thing with "Go fuck yourself if you don't like it."
Yeah.
Like every time,
because it is that.
well, I know, but you prefaced it with that. So if somebody comments, it's like you already told them to fuck off, so they can't.
It's
Yeah.
also like James is not oblivious to the potential risks, and
Where is
like-
the skating?
it's obviously bringing more to him in his mental state of mind and enjoyment than it's the potential of harm for him, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I say, another thing is because I did used to do it like very, very often. You know, like if I said to you, any of you guys, can you get on a bike tomorrow and ride it? You can at least do that, can't you?
Yeah.
Safely.
Yeah.
It's to say, I'm just skating. I'm not doing any tricks or
There we
anything. I'm
go.
just literally putting on a pair of skates and going.
Look
So,
at you go.
Great.
Yeah, babe.
Get a little cardio in.
Like an aggressive stride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any video? Oh, no, that's opposing video.
No, there is. I have
Oh, here we go.
there's a little video there. This is that other day. This
Is
is when
anybody
this is
on-
like one of my first days back on.
Where's your
the transmitter.
helmet?
Has anybody on the street said anything to you? Like anybody in your neighborhood?
My neighbor was like, my neighbor was a really nice, slightly older gentleman. He didn't say nothing, but I was like, mate, it's been 20 years. And he went, go for it. I was like, sweet.
Ooh,
Oh, look at
backwards.
this, going backwards.
Yeah, yeah, backwards, me. Slow though. I'm faster now. Listen, it's been about 3 days and I feel so much more comfortable. This was like my first, I couldn't even stop that day. Look, watch, going to the pole.
Oh.
That was good
I was out
though.
of breath after that.
I've been thinking about taking my bike to the skate park to see if I'm capable of doing anything anymore.
You're
Yeah.
not allowed to. You're not allowed
Yeah,
to.
I know it's in my contract, but I was gonna break that. Honestly, I'm curious. I have no idea. I feel like I could, but then I'm also
It's crazy.
When I watch Ron Partlow, I'm like, wow, that shit's crazy.
I don't
Yeah.
think you can, Justin. I think,
It comes back.
I love that you. I love that you have so much faith in me, and you.
listen, it's not about faith. It's just sometimes when we put on all this muscle,
No,
we still think we can do things and we can't.
no,
Yeah.
stuff like that though. I think like skill-based stuff that you develop, especially younger, comes back quick. Like even if I don't snowboard or skateboard or something for 10 years, I can hop back on a snowboard and within like an hour be like 95%.
It's not about it coming back. It's about the extra size he's put on.
Yeah,
I know-
it makes it a little different, but I think your body kind of adapts to the equilibrium and balance difference pretty quick, and you still understand the concepts of like, especially in snowboarding, like your edges and like things like this. You still
Mm.
understand it, and you know the feeling. You're at first you're like, oh boy, shit, I'm heavy.
This guy's doing
Yeah.
backflips on his fucking bike. He can't do backflips now.
Oh, I'm not talking about doing
I
a
don't think
back.
he's going to attempt to do a backflip.
Well, if he wants to ride around the neighborhood, I'm sure he could do that.
I can ride around. That's not what I'm talking about, though. I was talking about like going to the skate park and maybe grinding the quarter
Yeah,
pipe.
do some grinds, do a little jump, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just going to apologize to Fouad because I'm encouraging athletes to
I know.
do,
Thank you,
dumb
James.
shit.
I watched that video. I was
Sorry.
like, I want to go to the skate park.
This guy's riddled with fucking injuries. So you're like, yeah, don't worry about it. Go get back on your bike. Break your leg again.
Oh,
Don't say
fuck.
that. Don't say that. Yeah, maybe I won't.
So anyway, James, so 3 weeks. I have some pressing questions for you that you're probably not going to
Yeah.
answer.
I'll answer anything.
All right. Can you beat Martin?
Martin?
Yeah.
Fitz? Yeah, I can. He's very good, but I can beat him, and he can beat me.
Can you beat Andrew? No, don't
I
say
can.
he can't beat me. That's not.
Bro, he can't because it depends. Listen, if I get it 99% on and he gets it 97, I win. If it's the other way round, he could win.
So what if you're both on? Let's answer that.
If we're both on, it's close, man. But I got a bit more maturity to my physique than him if I get it right.
Yeah. I
But
agree with that.
I don't write him off. I do think he's good.
He is very good. He's made quite a progression in a short period of time. Like I know most of it's conditioning, but he's put on quite a bit of muscle too.
Yeah.
So
I was very
Listen,
impressed. Texas.
I don't underestimate anybody in bodybuilding, and I don't, and more so lately, I realized that because it is so, you can all look your best, but someone's got to fucking win.
Yeah.
So I know you were a huge Andrew Jacked fan. How do you feel about that?
Is he for sure
feel good.
Arnold UK?
Yeah, he's definitely
Supposed
doing
to be,
it. I
yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Oh, listen, he's my mate, but I'm going to give him hell. I'm going to give him fucking hell.
If we talk about the physiques, Andrew, what is the pluses and minuses? If we talk about Andrew's pros over you, we talk about width. We say
Bro,
width,
he's got width and stature, and aesthetics.
and you would have thickness and conditioning.
I think I'd have. I'm not as, although I'm not bigger, I do have a density, a hardness, and a dryness. If I can get those, if I can nail how I can look, then yeah, it'll be those things. So it's very different. So I've got to be Caucasian dry, basically.
How are your abs going to look this year? I know you've been working on them all year. You think they're going to come
I've been
in?
working on them a lot better, like harder. Hopefully they're fucking on point. This year versus last year. One thing I was saying on the circles earlier is I stopped this year doing hanging leg raises because I think all that was happening is that my psoas was getting tired and my abs weren't being worked.
Yeah.
So this
You're
year
getting a
I've
lot of hip
spent
flexing.
doing, I've just been working my abs when I'm doing like raise work. I'm actually flat on the floor, but the difference has been substantial. And you know, I've already put up like the things I've done, pictures and stuff, and I can see an improvement in them, and I can only improve as much as I can. They're never going to be a genetic strong point for me, like those really chunky, thick stand there abs. But they're better than they were, and I've managed to do pretty well before. So we'll just see, won't we?
Okay,
You
and then I think there's a couple more notables, which is probably Jamie,
Mark,
and Mark.
Yeah.
Mark's exceptional. Jamie's exceptional.
I'm really excited for Mark.
Yeah. Mark's got crazy. Listen, Mark's one of them guys with those clavicles that are just out of this world.
Yeah. Crazy round shoulders, wide clavicles. I think his legs still need to come up a little, but I mean, he looks awesome, man.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I've got to almost rely, like in all honesty, in this game of bodybuilding, you've kind of got to rely on some people have got to slightly get it wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean,
and someone like Mark with those genetics, if they don't get it slightly wrong, then they're very, very dangerous for everybody.
Yeah. I would agree.
And you have to accept that. It is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Justin, what do you think?
Well, I do think that James can expose a lot of people from a conditioning and hardness standpoint for sure.
And thickness, no?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I don't think a lot of people have
like side chest, side tricep.
The side shots,
It's just side shots, really. Yeah.
Height on the sweep of his quad.
Yeah.
His side shots. Not a lot of people have that. You know, but yeah, again,
And then, like I say, then there's shoulder width that I don't have a lot of.
yeah, and that's, you know, from the back, yeah, you're a little more narrow from the back, but again, it's not that you don't have plenty of size, thickness, and detail back there to be dangerous.
What you don't have, like, you got to rely on what you do. So, like, say, like I know in a back double, I won't have the widest structure, but all I can then present is how much is going on within that structure.
Yeah, there's no point worrying about the things that you don't have and improve the things you do. You know,
precisely.
It's also a ratio thing too. So if you're doing a back, like your back double, I'll see if I can find one. You just posted one recently.
I've got a video. I've got a video that I put up about 3 days ago on the Instagram.
Oh yeah, okay, I see it.
Just hitting one.
What I was saying is the ratio. So your quads are so big, it makes your waist look tiny. So even though you're not super wide, the X frame and the proportions of everything looks nuts.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
you can only work with what you got. Like my waist isn't huge, so
your waist looks.
Your arms have grown too.
Yeah, arms are good. Triceps.
Yeah, I think it's just avoiding overdiet. Again, it's I've had the muscle before, but every fucking time I just get to a point in my prep where I'm a few weeks out and it starts to get away from me.
Yeah.
And I've done it so many years in a row. It's such a frustration.
Yeah.
So
I found with me, the biggest thing is just taking very adequate time to make sure I'm building food up into the show. Like I can't be doing like a 2-day carb up of like, you know, like this needs to be a week-long process, a 5, 6, 7-day process of slowly building that food and letting that food stick and building on top of that, like Lego blocks every day. Like, okay, you get a couple blocks built, you sleep, you lose one. Yeah, you get a couple built, you sleep, you lose one, you know? You're just gonna keep building until you get that right. You know?
We've all been in that stage of prep where you have a high day and then you drop weight. Another high day and you'll drop weight. So I think kind of relying on one day to feed up is silly.
I think James is taking a little bit different approach, though. I don't think
a little bit different because I have implemented a lot more what people would call shit calories.
Just high calorie days. So I don't think James is going to have as tough a time loading.
No, yeah, for sure. That's good.
Yeah. Because it's like, I think when you're on a strict diet with no cheats and no nothing, then it takes a little bit more to load. Whereas if he's reloading every fucking, what, 4 or 5 days now?
Yeah, in a minute, weight seems to get back down to baseline with a slight improved look every 4 to 5 days.
So what's the baseline now?
Probably about 271.
271. Is your gear all as low as you said your trend was?
No. I'll tell you exactly what my gear is.
Well, we don't
Primo
even...
100. No, I don't care. Primo 100 mig a day.
Yeah.
Trend is it was 10 mig a day, but it's up to 20 now for this week. Mastron's 50 mig a day. Testananthe is 30, so 75, 0.3, 75 mig per day.
525.
So your Primo is the highest thing then?
Yes.
So
that seems to be pretty commonplace nowadays. I think
it's getting more common.
Yeah, it's it seems to be like the way things are done now.
Yeah.
Is that for, you guys have to clue me in because I'm more old school. Is that for safety purposes, or why is that the way things are going?
Honestly, I think it's because it means that it allows for you to be able to keep those other compounds in a much more safe realm.
Yeah.
At the expense of pushing the primobolan a little bit up. Listen, I'm not on this podcast to say do gear. I'm not on this podcast to say you should, and I'm not on here to advertise that I take things, but I am a fucking real person. If you don't like it, and if this is offensive for bodybuilding, then I'm sorry, but I think it's responsible that I say things like this because it should be at least covered so people don't go do stupid shit like I hear people do. I think like if you can trade off something more toxic for something less toxic, it's worth it.
Yeah. Well, I think I was having this conversation with Cal on me and Cal Raystrick did a podcast last Monday, I think. I can't remember, or this Monday. I don't remember when it went live, but he was talking about the same thing. He was talking about Mark's. He didn't give any exact numbers, but he said like
it'll be very similar to mine because the school of method is very similar with the people that we talk to.
Yeah, his premise of it was it's just better. It's more efficient for the body and healthier for the body than just adding high amounts of everything and not getting the best use of it.
Honestly, I feel like my fat burning and my body's ability to like digest and to process food and everything is a lot better for it.
And Ian,
because I think if you were to push Trenbolone to numbers I have before, then you'd start noticing digestion, sleep, like all those things would be far more affected than they are currently.
Yeah. What about how do you feel about your mood? Is it more stable? Is everything better? Like
like I lost it with Yannick yesterday in the car park at the gym, didn't I? I was like, I'll fucking knock you out, I swear. but like 2 seconds later, I just started laughing, and so did she. Because I knew it was just that.
What did you snap on her about?
Because I didn't want her to park in a spot that was for we got a space outside. Yeah, she's like, it isn't for bikes, but it is for bikes because I know. And she's like, no, everyone parks here. I'm like, you're not everybody. Let them park there and be arseholes. Don't be the arsehole. And then we got into a little bit of a kerfuffle. And then when she parked, I was like, don't fucking...
I'll fucking knock you out.
And I said, I'll fucking knock you out. I said, you know what? I'll knock you out in front of your parents.
You smashed the car.
No, I hit the car. And then I stood out and I just started like laughing because I was like, this is clearly just fucking...
Diet
she would say, lay off the trend.
Yeah. But 10 milligrams.
But I am chill when I start laughing. Like there's no real anger there. I just look at the situation. I'm like, what a bellend. Yeah.
But Ian, you've been saying this for a while, right? You've been doing the low dose, everyday type of shots more so than
I do smaller every day. Yeah.
Yeah. You've been doing this you've been saying this for like a year now, at least
2, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. And
so much better.
And you feel better too, right?
I just find it lowers my need for an AI significantly. And I think that the AI abuse or heavy use is one of the worst culprits in terms of heart health these days, guys, even in the off season with not even doing blood work, and they're hammering 1 milligram, 2 milligrams of Arimidex with Novadex every day and wondering why their lipids are in the tank. And then they get a heart scan, shit's all fucked up. It's like, well, you didn't need to be taking mass amounts of AIs for 90% of the time that you were, And look, I'm obviously not disputing that to get in crazy Olympia contending show condition, you're going to need to have some, estrogen suppression, some hormone suppression like that. And those drugs will be needed, but that is not a 6-month process,
Well, I think most of what you're talking about is more in the off season too. I mean, guys are.
I'm speaking 90% in the off season, 10% in prep. Yeah.
Yeah, because more often than not, guys are pushing their test levels to 750, 1,000, 1,500, and then they got to suppress the test. The estrogen on the other side.
I think this is also a thing that guys are afraid of estrogen for reasons that they don't even know why, and that they put in AIs without even necessarily needing it, just because they think their doses allocate as such. It's like when you could probably take that level of test and feel completely fine, but it's like, but they're like, well, I don't want to have, but estrogen is also needed and valuable, especially in an off season. I think to crush it in a lot of ways is not only health detrimental, but also progress detrimental, you know?
So I just want to add to that as the bro of the group. Most of the time guys are taking AIs in the off seasons because they're trying to stop having that watery look, which usually comes from a shit diet. Or if they're taking like heavy orals like D-balls or Anadrol or something like that, you might retain more water, obviously, right? So they're like, I'll take an AI, that way it won't be as watery. And the second reason is most guys are just being preventative. They're like, oh, I don't want Gyno. Gyno's the scariest thing in the world. I'm going to take a bunch.
Yeah.
So, but the root of the cause is your test is too high.
Yes.
And it's not necessary with this kind of new system. That
this is a save to this in terms of lower that test, crank a bunch of primo.
Yeah.
Mitigate your use for an AI, or even just, keep moderate to high test. And, instead of doing 2 shots a week where you're doing, 500 milligrams of test or 300, 400 milligrams of test every 3-4 days, do 100 milligrams a day, 150 milligrams a day, and you'll definitely lower your need, you'll find, to have an AI. Less peaks and valleys, you get way less aromatization, I find, at least personally. I mean, I use in the entire off season, I don't use an AI at all. Zero. None.
Yeah.
I'm not using anything.
But
right now.
If you get your cycle right, you shouldn't have to.
It also boils down to like oil volume. Like banging 3 mLs into your shoulder.
Yeah.
3 times a week.
But I also
look, if you're using a long ester, you're using a test ethate and you want to do it daily, you do a half cc at 125 milligrams a day. You're doing what, 875 a week by doing 0.5.
Yeah, exactly.
In every day, that's so easy. The volume is low, your aromatization will stay low. I find it's just like, for how minimal extra work it is, just do it,
I gotta ask you guys this. So wait, sorry, Justin, I just want to ask you guys this. So all 3 of you said you don't take as many AIs as you used to.
Mm-hmm.
But I also got to slow down on the AI use as I got older. Do you think that's something to do with age? Because when I was younger, I used to need, and I know this is also connected to my test levels, but I feel like even at a higher test level, past 35 years old, I didn't get the same estrogen effects, like the negative effects.
So what effects were you getting when you were younger that you felt warranted in AI in the off season?
Mostly water retention and gyno.
Okay. And was the water retention negatively affecting like your blood pressure and stuff like that?
Well, it must have been. I mean, when you're blown the fuck
So,
out.
I mean, yeah, in that case, obviously, I think, it's warranted if it's causing other things. But I think a lot of guys will be like, I don't want the estrogen side effects, and throw it in without even actually experieing it.
Having anything wrong. Yeah.
And I think that's the thing. I mean, look, I did it for years. I would just think, well, you take testosterone, you need an AI. You're doing 750 milligrams of testosterone, you need an AI. It's just like this, it's going to convert, you need it. You don't want high estrogen, bad. And then I started realizing, like, well, maybe I'll just stop taking and see what happens. And nothing bad happened. I felt better. I looked better. There was no negative effect. So I'm like, why have I been doing this for so long? And my lipids improved significantly very quickly.
Yeah.
You also talk about people, running a couple of grams of Arimidex, run 10 mg of tamoxifen.
Yeah.
And I know people running Aromasin every single day. And
I mean, and even a lot of that, you could probably, combat the little bit of aromatization you're getting in the off season with like herbal health supplements, like like an estrogen suppressing kind of health supplement blend or something, instead of throwing actual pharmacology in there,
the other thing, aside from estrogen, I know we talked about that a lot, but James, doing the things the way you're doing it now, or Ian, Justin, I don't know if you do this already, if you've been doing that, or are you still kind of using older school methods?
What, the pinning every day?
Yeah. Like, are you doing like Ian and James kind of?
I'm currently pinning every day.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll, like Primo is 100 mgs per ml. And if I'm going to run 700 mgs, I'm not going to pin an ml every day.
That's the thing too. Like if you're doing like a test prop or a Primo dosed at 100 milligrams, you're shooting every other day. What are you shooting? 3 cc's that?
Yeah.
How are you even getting all your gear and your damn shots when you're doing it like that?
Yeah. What I was going to say is this is probably also helping with blood pressure, which is the main culprit behind a lot of issues.
Yes.
Because if you're keeping your test down around 500 or 750, you're going to be far better off with water retention, blood pressure issues, all of those things, than if you were taking like the old school methods of, okay, I'm going to blast test and keep everything else low.
Yeah, and use an AI alongside it.
And then use an AI, and then, like you said, your HDL is fucking is crashed because of the AI, and then your blood pressure's through the roof because your test levels are way too high. So this seems like a much better strategy. I wish I was still doing steroids so I could try it out.
Yeah, because
Not too late.
when I was younger.
No, he's always try to run it for a
When
bit.
I was younger, as soon as you got to a month out from a show or 6 weeks, it was 1 Rimex a day. And then when you get to that 2 weeks out, it's like 1 letrozole a day.
Add electrolyte.
Like, fuck, man.
Maybe,
Like, and I used to live through that.
20 or 40 milligrams of Novadex while you're at it, you know?
Yeah, but I think show days are different. Like if we're talking about the last 2-3 weeks,
and this is why I spoke when I said it. I'm not referring to the last 4 weeks before.
Yeah.
I understand that. Look, I don't think that taking 2 milligrams of Arimidex and fucking 5 milligrams of Letrozole and 20 milligrams of the Novadex all at once is necessary for anyone. But I think obviously the AI need is obviously higher if you want to obtain that look than it is.
Close.
So no, I'm not saying that I'm AI free and that I run into shows and get bone dry peeled with using no AIs. That's a lie. I do use AIs, and within close to a show, I use Aromasin or Arimidex at 1 milligram a day or 12.5 to 25 milligrams of Aromasin a day for those last 4 weeks. Not together, but one or the other. And that's,
I'm lucky that I've never had to deal with any gyno issues, so I've never had any either.
Depress any. Everybody always has a different side effect. For me, it was gyno. And I think my hair loss would have happened anyway because, my brothers that have never used steroids.
Yeah, but that's not really an estrogen side effect.
Gyno?
DHT in it.
No, hair.
No,
no. I'm just counting like what the side effects I experienced, where the main ones were gyno and then hair loss. But hair loss, I think I would have encountered anyway. So you guys haven't, Ian and Justin, you haven't encountered gyno at all. Anything else?
Never.
Acne? Anything?
I dealt with some acne in the beginning, but honestly, I think it's because of just my oils weren't clean, to be honest.
I got some acne one prep when I was younger. But it was that when you get that the really tiny dotty, almost like a rash acne. And I think it was from using the water-based injectable Winstrol, and it caused some kind of dermal rash,
I got really bad.
DHT cause is that not DHT an effect of DHT sometimes, those little bubbly ones?
Maybe, I'm not sure.
I think it might be, just because I had an issue with a certain Primo that was a higher dose one back in the day. And it gave me little speckly forearm spots.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I got it on my shoulders and back, and it was just little tiny, red little bumpy dots,
Yeah.
But it was once I stopped using that water-based Winstrol, it went away almost immediately.
James, have you ever had what's your main side effect?
I always had gyno in my right nipple before, even if you look when I was when I was in my teens. So I definitely had, so it
was before gear, and then you just made it worse.
It probably came from when I very first started gear, because I started gear young.
Really? How old were you?
Yeah, I was 17 when I first did the cycle.
No wonder you're so strong. This explains everything.
Well, when I say because I was 17, I competed when I was 18, and I started preparing for the show by doing an off season, and the off season was Anabol when I was 17 years old. So,
Jesus.
But I'm in fucking London, walking the gym. They're the first thing they're like, yeah, you need this, and you just do it. Don't you?
Yeah. I got a question as well, though. For people worried about gyno, do you not think that the amount of money you spend on drugs and all these other things, maybe just save a little bit of that, get gyno surgery, get the gland removed, and not have to do with the long-term adverse health effects of banging out AIs all year? It's
you can't get the gland removed completely.
Are you sure?
I heard you can.
No. Wait. Let me rephrase that. You can get the gland removed completely, but you shouldn't.
Why? I don't know.
Because you ever see this? This is what I was told by my surgeon that did mine. Have you ever see the guys that have the gyno surgery done, but then their nipples are saggy, or they're that's what happens if you remove the gland completely. So
he's you get a bit hollow behind.
Yeah. So he's I got to leave something there.
I've seen some bad gyno surgeries where you see divots in the pec.
Well, then just get your gyno surgery done once every 5 years, spend $5 or $7 grand on it, and just
I did it. Honestly, I did it once. It cost me $500 because it wasn't bad enough for them to have to put me out. I was awake when they did it.
Damn. Oh, really?
Yeah, I was like, they just did general anesthesia or
It
whatever.
was also in 1999, so like prices.
It was. That's how they did things. Then you're just wide awake and just cut your
right away.
Towel on your teeth. And
They give you get a little heroin from some poppies, and just give her.
I'm not like from 1920, you asshole. It was like,
pop you over the head.
A little opium.
Stun you a little bit.
no, it was like 2006 or 7. Anyways, yeah, it was just small. So they just froze the area, and I laid there, and I could see him. There was a reflection from the, that fucking big light that they have above the table, and it was like aluminum, so I could see the reflection of him working. I was watching the whole time.
When I did my arm, they offered for me to stay awake for that.
Did you?
No.
Fuck, put me out. Fuck it.
They said they could put a nerve block in and just keep me awake for it. They're like, if you have an issue with being sedated, but the surgery ended up taking like almost 3 times as long as they anticipated because of the size of my arm, like cutting through the layers. Like
you broke your arm.
When I did this,
they were going to keep you awake for that.
Yeah, they said they put a nerve block in, and it's just you're completely paralyzed on the side. You can stay awake.
Who the fuck would opt for that?
People do, man.
Some sicko.
You would?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I want to watch.
Oh, shit.
I don't want to hear I don't want to hear them using like their DeWalt drill.
Yeah, I want to hear
like
The bolts in.
No way.
No, but I think if you get gyno surgery done and you just monitor, like I didn't have to really do much after I got it done. It just had to, a little bit of AI. And
I think if you're someone with a propensity to gyno, that you should just get it done.
Yes.
There was a guy.
I'm definitely going to get. I'm definitely going to get something done eventually. Just like because there's a little bit that I don't mind. It's not like
I've never noticed you having gyno.
I haven't either. Yeah, I haven't either.
There's just sometimes when I'm at a certain body fat, and let's say I notice it more so after I have a day of eating food that's maybe a little bit inflammatory.
Yeah, because water retention
and inflammation there.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so like a day after maybe I have a meal off, I'm like, okay, I can see a little bit more puffiness around there. Whereas when I'm like bone dry, you don't really notice. But
yeah,
but
that's not necessarily gyno, right?
Is it
no, I do actually have a P behind it. There is a.
Okay, so when you're retaining
but
water,
it's so fucking small, but it's just in the right place to cause a little bit of
yeah.
Protrusion, yeah.
What was I going to fucking say? Remember the guy we did a rate your physique, and a guy posted his physique, and he had really bad gyno.
Yeah, terrible gyno.
And I said, don't compete till you get your gyno done. And then like Ben got mad at me.
Yeah,
you guys remember that? Anybody? Was anybody on there?
I remember the situation.
That guy messaged me. So that was like, when was that? We did the rate your physique for that. Was like, fuck, it had to be like 8 months ago.
Yeah.
He just messaged me like a few days ago, and I think he won his class at some show because he had his gyno done soon after that episode. And he fucking thanked me profusely. He's like, dude, thank you for making me do it. Nobody around me told me. And I'm like, listen, to anybody watching, if you have friends with gyno, tell them.
Yeah.
Don't.
I think some of these guys notice and also just think like, this is part of bodybuilding. It's a side effect of bodybuilding. Judges know we all do steroids. I don't care. That's not the case. They know what we do. They don't give a shit. It looks bad. Get it removed.
Well,
that guy specifically had very bad gyno though.
Yes.
Yeah, but if it's noticeable, not like a little bit, like they have to look really hard. But I mean, look, everybody saw it with William Bonac. If it's noticeable, they're going to mark you down. So. I talked to Paul about these things after shows, and he'll tell me, he's like, yeah, that guy had really bad gyno. We marked him down, whatever. So like Ian said, just get it done. Unfortunately though, Ian, if they have to put you under, it's like $3 or $4 grand, I think.
Yeah. But I mean, guys are spending down on food and drugs all the time. Like,
I don't think a lot of guys have $3 or $4 grand to spend, dude.
Well, if you're Canadian, you do it smart. You can get it covered by your OHIP. So
if you say you're in enough pain,
if you say that it's causing you mental distress and you won't take your shirt off on the beach and you cry every day before you go to bed, then yes, you'll get it covered.
Speaking of small guys with gyno, these pictures.
They're good pictures.
I'm very fat.
I like this. This is like a real off season.
I wanted to make you proud of that.
I'm very proud.
I got a little bit of cheeseburger tit going on there.
There's a little bit of cheeseburger here. I see it.
No gyno though.
We can highlight it.
No gyno.
Some guy commented, he goes, well, that's underwhelming.
I saw that.
Where?
It's in there. And then he I said something back.
Someone tagged me in it.
He goes, you've been spending too much time with Ian.
Yeah.
Too sensitive.
You're too sensitive. Commenting back to to comments like this makes you sensitive.
He's like, all I said was it was underwhelming.
Yeah. I only said you were shit.
Yeah, all I did was diminish all your hard work.
All I did is come onto your post and insult you and expect no response.
Yeah.
Did you
You
delete it?
have
No, I didn't
you
delete
have
it.
I
you
can't
have a
find it.
physique that's like reminiscent of you and Dean White have some similar strengths from those shots, but you're open. So everything that we say about Dean and his nice structure and the shoulder width, the fucking like everything that he has, you have on an open body, which is crazy. I hope that's-
I don't know where
I
that.
hope you
comment-
consider that
It doesn't matter.
a good thing because I do.
So
Well,
what do you
thank-
think? What do you think happened this year, Justin? Do you think everything just got bigger, or is anything better than last year?
I know my legs have come up. I know my back's bigger. I think it just general like thickness all around for sure.
Why didn't you
Balls are
post
nuts,
any
bro.
back shots?
Because I look like mashed potatoes when I turn around.
He's honest.
And it's
Come on, man. We want to see the goods.
You know what I'm
Just
talking
post the
about.
good
Nobody wants
shit.
to see those.
I expect some back shots tomorrow.
Okay, I'll send them to you in private.
No.
Just don't
Oh,
show-
there's.
don't show anybody.
Is it better than this?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. See there I am popping my adductors. See that?
Yeah, you
Look
got
at the
good. You
progress
got
on
good
those two.
striations while you're popping them, though.
Yeah. But it's a fine line.
I was never able to do that. When I popped mine, I lost all striations.
Yeah.
I lose 75%.
Yeah, not all, but
Look
like
at that guy on the left though. Look how fucking jacked he is.
this guy looks like dog shit. Who told this guy to start working out?
I don't know. His girlfriend at the time.
Look at the difference, though. Holy fuck, dude! How much
Wait,
weight
that's
is here?
That's 2 years apart.
That's a lot of muscle in 2 years, man.
A lot of muscle.
That's loads.
I think the weight difference, I'm like 230 on the right, 200 on the left.
It's nice.
Man.
It's nice.
Isn't
More
that
than
cra-
30 pounds of muscle because obviously the conditioning is significantly
Isn't
higher.
that crazy?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy when you say that though? Like most people, like me and when me and Cal were talking about like putting on 5 to 7 pounds of tissue, and how that doesn't sound like anything to people, but like
Show.
5 to 7 pounds, like there's 30 there, but that like okay, that's only
I might have been like 225. But
no,
you know,
I shouldn't say 30. So look, there's only 25 to 30 pounds here, but it looks like 100.
Yeah.
mhm.
Like
Because of
this
this,
is-
like you say, because the significant improvement in condition as well.
Yeah.
your
Because you are
calves,
harder on the right.
your calves when you started were better than mine at my peak.
Yeah.
It's because he closed a lot of gaps here. I mean, like the lower lat and like erector thickness. You know, your glutes are obviously big and showing. The adductors, you close the gap in
You
your
can see that I
legs.
still had like big arms there. You can look at my triceps.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
you
turn
always
around,
have
like,
good
to the
triceps.
front, I look pretty good. But I mean, that on the left, I was, you know, like a month into my first cycle ever.
Crazy.
I can't wait to see this with 20 more pounds on it.
It needed 20 more pounds.
This is what 215,
Yeah, I was like right at like a week out, I think, or something like that.
and you're 270 now. So if you drop 40, you probably go on stage at 230, 235, but you still have like a few more months of off season.
Yeah, I still have like 3.5 more months before I start dieting.
So let me ask you this, because this is the main problem that people have in the off season is they starts getting monotonous
Yeah,
and they start falling off track. How often are you falling
I
off
start
track?
going to Taco Bell.
Well, I got a call from you the other night and you were you were on your way to Taco Bell. So how often are you?
No, I'm only eating off plan like once a week. But sometimes I'll like, you know, like you talk about cooking pasta in the evening instead of just eating your chicken and rice.
Mhm, mhm.
Shit like that. But I'm not like I'm going and getting fast food more than, you know, actually honestly fast food maybe twice a month.
But you've started doing those
good.
things like doing pasta instead of rice and doing like
Yeah, for sure.
because
Sometimes-
it's important for people to know like that's how you can extend your off season, keep making progress without going right to just dog shit food, right?
Yep, for sure. Yeah. I mean, it gets monotonous, but I really don't mind. I don't mind eating my lean protein and rice. I do it all day, every single day. It doesn't really bother me. You know, but we're human. Sometimes you just want to wake up and have
I would always
some
get,
pancakes or some shit.
you know, one of the things that Hani taught me in one of the longest off seasons I had, because he made me skip a year.
Yeah.
The rice pasta was
Yeah.
was gold for me. Because I could
Yeah,
mix,
this will be just over a year of a full off season.
yeah, like that to me, because you start to get like I would start to get worn out from rice.
Oh yeah.
So when
For
I do the rice pasta, I can do like ground turkey, ground beef, anything, you know what I mean? And then I can just, it was so easy to eat and it's so calorie dense. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Pasta is way more
100
calorie
carbs
dense.
of pasta is pretty small.
Yeah, yeah. So I could eat way more food and not be full.
Yeah.
So anyway, what's going on, guys? What's the news? What's the bodybuilding news of the week? Anything important?
Not a lot
Nobody?
going on in bodybuilding in a minute.
Ian, anything? You've been gone for a while. Anything you want to tell us that you missed out on?
I don't know. What have I missed out on? Is there anything going on?
No.
Not really much going on. Well, let's wrap it up.
Okay, guys. See you later. Thanks for coming on.
It's been like a quiet couple of weeks, isn't it?
Yeah, we're kind of like in a dip right now before
Yeah, a
our
bit of a lull in the.
I do
Before
have
the European shows kick off.
What's the first show coming up is what, the Italian show?
Yes.
Is the UK first or is Italy first?
No, Italy's 1 week before.
So Italy's 2 weeks out.
Yes.
So
Anyone doing
is-
Italy's 2
is-
weeks.
Is Crizzo doing Portugal? Is that what I'm understanding?
EVLS, the amateur part, I think.
And then there's a pro show, correct?
I was
I
told
don't think there is
by-
at the Prague.
No, it's 2 weeks later. Somebody said there was a pro show 2 weeks after that he was doing.
Okay.
What are you doing, Ian? Who are you talking to?
my wife.
Oh,
Is it my understanding that Brett is doing that show?
is she sending you dirty messages?
Brett's 11 weeks out, isn't he?
Brett?
Yeah, isn't he doing the same show that Crizzo's doing?
He could be, yes.
Brett Wilkin?
Yeah, I don't know where I heard that,
Oh, I didn't even know he was competing this.
but it was on like a
I
YouTube.
believe he's competing later in the year, but I don't know what show.
Yeah, I saw he was 11 weeks out or something.
Anyway, James, so you're not doing Italy, you're doing France, you said.
No, I've timed everything that if anything, I'll do the UK, and then there's France a week later, and then there are a few shows sprinkled after that. So I didn't want to rush my weight down.
Yeah.
And because the Italy show hadn't announced its location they didn't know where they were going to put the show for so long, and I didn't want to commit to a show I didn't know where it was. And they only announced where it was. By the time that it was announced, I was like, you know what, I'm on track for what I'm aiming for.
Who's doing Italy? Do we know?
Jamie, probably no one. He's probably going to win and fucking because there'll probably be no one there. Not saying because no one there he'll win, but there'll probably be no one there and he'll probably fucking win and get to the Olympia. Bastard.
Why do you sound angry about that?
Because if I feel like that could be a good show to get a ticket to the Olympia. I tell you.
So
I think if anyone turns up at that one, because it's going to be Muzi, it's going to be Jamie, and it's going to be
Moosey's still,
a guy
Moosey's
from
still
here.
going, eh?
Muzi's still going.
how did these guys
Harry Harris from here. Jamie could very much get a little ticket there, a little cheeky ticket.
Jamie can beat Muzi, right?
I think so, because he'd be fresher.
Yeah, Muzi's done didn't he start competing in fucking
Muzi's had a
March?
good year. He's done some good placings. I think he's had a couple of top twos, top threes.
I think you should jump into Italy, man.
I don't think I'll be ready in time.
Well, stop eating McDonald's. You'll get ready.
No. Honestly, I could be ready, but it'll be that I bring my weight down too quick to hit that condition, and it will affect my look.
All right.
Yeah.
So Italy.
Don't get me wrong. Listen, if I wake up, if fucking 3 days time for some reason I look fucking freaky pilled and I'm looking how I should, then fuck me, I'll just go, yeah, sweet, because you can sign up till the 6th of the month. But I don't think it's not likely.
All right. I guess we'll do some questions then.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Everybody's kind of quiet today.
You told me
Beautiful, mate.
I was fat and small and had gyno.
And told me that my glutes were fat.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's
Made
why everyone's
fun of me
fucking
for eating
quiet.
Taco Bell. Now,
And told James he was fat and
Offended
stopped
everyone.
eating
yeah.
You fucking
Okay,
offended
I'm going
everyone.
to tell you guys something right now.
McDonald's.
Tell us. I want to hear it.
I am your guy's biggest promoter in this fucking whole industry.
Oh, yeah. Pat yourself.
Every week, I'm going to pat myself.
yourself.
Pat myself.
All about Fouad. All about
Every
Fouad.
week, I have
like
you
do for
fuckers
you
on.
guys.
Every week, I have you guys on here, and all I do is show everybody your awesome pictures, tell you how great you are. Fucking every
No.
once in a while, you got to take a little
You
bit
had
of
me
shit.
on here. You didn't have me on here for a month and then wanted to pull up my fat glutes and say how fat they are.
Yeah. Every week, talking about how great you are.
Yeah.
I'm your motherfucker's biggest fan. I even get called out for it. Like, oh, Fouad's not hard enough on his friends. Like leave me alone. Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
I
Where's
have
the back
to
shots, Fatty?
maintain a level of integrity. So I have to shit on you sometimes so they believe
That's
that.
true. I will.
No, I
back
get
you
it.
up on
I
that one.
appreciate it. And all your scrutiny has made me a better man.
Think about it. If I didn't call you small every week, you'd still be 250.
Yeah. You know what's funny is like all those comments are like Fouad's diet is working. Fucking keep it up, Fouad. And it's like I tag my coach in it, who's the reason I'm
No.
that way.
I don't think so. I
No,
don't think
right.
so. You were hovering at like
When
250.
Justin sits there about to eat the meal and he's like, fuck, I'm full. I don't want to eat this. I'm just gonna, I'm gonna skip it. I'm just gonna go to bed. And he's like, no, I gotta be big for Fouad. I gotta make Fouad proud.
No, he doesn't say that. He says Fouad's gonna make fun of me if I'm not big enough.
Yeah.
That
So
fucking
you bullied him into being big.
Yeah.
I'm
Negative
tired and not going
reinforcement.
to finish my meal. You know how many people text me, well, I didn't finish my meal. I fell asleep last night. Like, you didn't fall asleep. You went to bed.
Yeah.
Falling asleep and not eating your meal because you went to bed.
Yeah. You guys don't think I'm really too hard on you, do you?
It's like the fat kids in elementary school that always get teased because they're fat, and then they end up growing up to being like fucking ripped, like business billionaire.
Yeah.
James will tell me the truth. James, am I too hard on you guys?
No,
No,
I don't
definitely not.
think so. No, I've had a lot worse.
So you guys are just being assholes to me.
James's room behind him is literally just black.
It just
no,
looks like
I'm looking at my head
it's
floating.
a floating head.
Yeah,
I made it like this on purpose. You can't even see when I put the light on. That's fucked. That's crazy.
You just put a light on, nothing happened.
Yeah, and it ain't done shit.
No.
crazy.
All I see is this
Why
red
did you
beard.
make it like that?
That's still the
Um,
same.
Just because I wanted it to be like that.
More mystique.
All right.
Cool.
Looks good.
I like my room to be dark.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie. You telling me I'm small has lit a fire under my ass for sure.
See, Ian.
All the small comments. Yeah.
It's obviously just that I'm very sensitive of my fragile ego, so I can't take it quite as well as Justin.
That's why I don't do it to you.
I'd crumble and retire.
Literally, the first thing I've ever said to Ian was about Ian in a negative way is that he doesn't have striated glutes, and now he's just quit doing the show for a month.
Yeah. It's funny. I didn't even hear about this until someone like sent me the clip of send me a link to the podcast. Like, go to 1 hour and 59 minutes. Who says your
People
glutes are fat.
jokes. They really love it, don't they?
People love to cause problems.
Yeah.
It's hilarious. Okay. I have to also tell people that are sending you guys these things. I already know whenever I say anything, it's going to get back. It's going to get back to whoever I said it about. I don't think
Not like
I'm
trying to hide it from each other.
Yeah, I'm not. Okay. Take all the RBP members' bodies and build the ultimate bodybuilder using each body part and aspects of each.
Oh shit.
Justin's calves.
Clearly.
I knew I'd have something in there.
James quads.
Nah. Ian's got crazy quads.
Maybe you have more sweep to yours.
I don't know. Nah, wouldn't say that on with Ian. He might leave.
Don't leave, Ian.
I'm leaving.
Guys,
Don't
I'm
fucking
leaving.
do it, bro. Don't do it, son.
That's strike two. That's strike two.
Well, it was a toss-up. Come on. I don't know. Okay.
I will say Ian's side ham.
Okay, wait. Well, take the easy ones first. Nick's arms.
Nick's
Yeah.
arms. Justin's calves. Yeah.
Nick's arms, Justin calves. That's for sure.
Hey, who's got the best back?
Me. Does it count now or back in the day? Nick
No,
might
we'll
have.
give it
Nick
back
might,
in the day.
Nick's
might
back
have
is
it.
pretty
Nick's
good.
back is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Trying to
I
think who's on here because I'm trying to think about backs now.
I think Nick's back is probably.
Is it Nick's back or is it Nick's hamstrings and adductors that are the
No,
crazy?
I'm thinking of the way his lats sweep out.
His
Okay.
back, and I think it's improved a ton this year.
Yeah, I'm going to say Nick's back.
He's
Who's
winning two
Nick?
body
Probably Nick's hamstrings.
Whose chest?
Probably Fouad's chest.
My chest.
parts. Big old titties.
Clearly not your chest now.
No, now
No.
it just looks saggy. It's like a half empty water balloon. But
Yeah.
Ian's shoulders. Ian's shoulders.
Ian's shoulders.
I can take shoulders, sure.
that's a good
Nick,
call.
are we going to say Nick's abs because the waist isn't like small, but he's got good abs.
No, you want Justin's abs.
Justin's
take
waist.
Justin's
Justin's
back,
waist. Yeah,
Mine-
Justin's
yeah.
waist.
Set the middle off. That look nuts.
Well, I think because we gave Ian shoulders, we're going to give James quads.
Yeah.
I'll accept it because of that. Only because you gave me Ian's shoulders, though.
Okay. What are we missing? We have arms, shoulders, back, chest, quads, calves, hamstrings, glutes.
That's
How about-
pretty good.
Who's glutes?
Clearly my fat glutes.
No,
We
those
want
things are gonna
sharp.
get striated.
We want sharp striated
We want
glutes.
etched lines.
Okay, let's move on.
I think
I'm just glad I got a
Nick's
body part in
glute
there.
ham combo in the rear shots is
Pretty spot on, isn't it?
Nick's got a pretty phenomenal backside. If his
Who's got just a crazy dialed in glutes though? Roman?
Roman.
Roman,
Roman's glutes you could take for sure. Yeah.
Roman's glutes, 100%.
There ain't no fat in them bad boys.
All right. Thoughts on the no question about water cut before the show. What was the craziest thing that you did regarding water intake before the show? Did you go to zero water or did you drink a big amount of water? I've gone to zero water.
I'm sure we've all gone to zero
We've
water.
all gone to zero water. No.
Yeah, as a junior, I used
Well,
to
maybe
do that all
not
the time.
Justin. Justin's a little bit newer school.
No, I've never gotten like zero water. Always at like 6 to 8 ounces with a meal.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've gone zero for like a day and a half with Greg Doucette.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
went.
crazy.
I went zero for probably 2 days because it was a 2-day show, and I was a fun.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't say zero because after prejudging, I had a glass of water, and then
Yeah, I
back to no-
went zero bar the water I used to down the aldactone.
I mean, the day of the show, Matt had me. I was just sipping out like 3 ounces with my.
I mean, now I drink water like it's a completely normal day. I
Right,
remember.
you-
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm saying you still keep like 5-6 liters in a day, don't you?
Yeah, whatever it is on Saturday, I drink the same the day before, and the day before that, I don't really.
Okay,
yeah.
so I want to ask you guys something about a look. So the look nowadays that's prevalent is bigger, rounder, fuller, and a look in the '90s was probably full but crispy. So I want to ask, do you think that new technique of filling with water is the difference?
Well,
I think it's person to person. I don't think you can say that. I think if I drank 7 liters of water the day of the show, I don't think I would look as sharp and dry as Iain.
I mean, and there's also a caveat here in that you need to carb up with water.
yes,
You can't
absolutely.
take glycogen and be full. You can't stop and decrease water as you increase carbohydrates.
No, but
This
guys,
is like
with-
the thing is people like decrease sodium and water and increase carbohydrates, which doesn't
no,
always.
I agree with you, but like back in the day, the technique was load Wednesday, Thursday, keep your water in, and then Friday guys would chop it.
Sure, yeah,
Right.
and I've done that. Yeah,
Yeah. So what I'm saying is, do you think that's a difference in the look between like guys in the '90s and guys now? Is that guys nowadays tend to keep water in to get even more round and more full muscle?
yeah. I think guys in the '90s and early 2000s too were a little. I don't want to throw this as a statement, but I think they were also a little more aggressive and experimental with diuretic usage. You know, I think that was like the first time it was really coming into like, you know, the discovery of its application in bodybuilding. And, you know, and obviously the Olympia had a year where they did diuretic testing because of this prevalence, you know, I mean, and guys were obviously causing themselves a lot of harm, and guys were doing, you know, crazy, you know, doing like, you know, potassium sparing diuretics and then loading potassium at the same time and like doing wild stuff, you know. I think that has come down. I think now you really just get, you know, the odd guy doing a little Lasix, but the majority is just guys doing Diazide, maybe a tiny bit of Aldactone. You know, I think diuretic usage has cut down significantly. But yeah, I think guys were a lot more aggressive in their water cuts before, and that obviously has an impact on the look for sure.
So, Iain, you leave water in all the way to the show because you have to. Your body's a little bit different than the average.
Yeah, like if I reduce water even a little bit, like my look like
Just flatten out.
Yeah.
James, do you have that same issue, or can you cut water, or do you cut water?
Honestly, I don't fucking know.
What do you
We'll
mean?
find out in 3 weeks.
You're still experimenting,
Yeah.
you mean? Like you're still trying different
Yeah,
things.
I do know this though. Like, let's say I wake up in the morning, and if I didn't eat and I drank a liter of water, I would look considerably fuller for 30 minutes than I did.
Yeah.
So my body does require fluid to fill out quite dramatically. It's not as simple as eat and get full, because a lot of the time it is fluid.
Yeah, I
Because
agree.
I dehydrate, I piss a lot in the night, and I do pass a lot of water, so therefore that's why.
But I wonder why that doesn't work anymore. Like, I wonder why the whole like let's get loaded and then cut water on Friday. I wonder why that doesn't that work anymore for people.
It probably
I mean,
does. Just
some
depends who's comfortable doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, look, some of the best condition I've ever been in, I cut water aggressively, but that doesn't swing the same when you're 265 pounds versus 205 pounds or 220 pounds.
Exactly.
There's a lot more tissue that requires a lot more glycogen, a lot more fluid, a lot more, you know, sodium, electrolytes, like these kind of things that are required to maintain that look. It was a lot easier when I was a lot smaller, you know?
Yeah.
Same.
I mean, I remember the first show I ever did, I kind of like winged it myself. And I remember like looking on these, you know, forums or talking to people, and they're like, yeah, you use diuretics before the show. So I just like found diuretics, like whatever diuretics
whatever
were.
brand,
I didn't know
yeah.
there was types or whatever. And I got aldactazide, an aldactone diazide blend, and I ran it for like 10 days.
Holy shit.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Were you dry as fuck or what? Did you lose all your muscle in the process?
No, I look good. It was my first show ever. I actually looked really good. I was fucking peeled. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really surprising.
Yeah.
I wonder why.
I also carved up eating like ridiculous amounts of food, like I was like eating insane amounts of food and junk food. And I was drinking like, 100 grams of Vitargo with every meal. And like, I was just like, get carbs in,
Yeah. James, I wonder, can you explain to me why you think the judge's preference for look has changed so much from 20 years ago? Because if you think of the 90s, you think of bodybuilders, the look they wanted was not necessarily as full and round, a harder, crisper look. What changed?
I don't know if it's across the board. I don't think it is across the board. I think it depends on the show.
I don't know if you can make that blanket statement.
Yeah,
I think you look at there's okay, wait a minute. There's exceptions to what I'm saying, of course, but I'm saying as a whole, you can't deny that the physiques that are being rewarded are much different than the physiques that were being rewarded 20 years ago.
Yeah, because I think the ultimate development in bodybuilding, first and foremost, is are people more muscular now? Because it's called bodybuilding. So that's why the top 5 at Olympia are the most muscled in the whole lineup.
Yeah.
And then those other factors are really considered, who's in the best condition, who's blah, blah, blah. From mine, I've only done the Olympia once, but from what I see is you have to be a certain musculature to even be into contention.
I agree with that. Yeah.
So muscle mass first and foremost, and then they're going to look at the nitty gritty after that.
Yeah, you don't
obviously standard shows. Then it's not quite as it can be a little bit more broad than that because it's less likely you're going to have that musculature all across the board.
Tell me if you agree with this. I feel like the smallest guy I've seen be great at the Olympia is Sean Roden.
Yeah, probably
not saying he's small because he's got massive quads.
No, but like weight wise and sight that,
like when you think of Phil Heath and how thick and muscular he is, or Rami or Brandon Curry, I don't feel like Sean had that same level of thickness.
No, Sean's definitely the least 3-dimensional to have done what he's done.
To have done well at the Olympia, most of the time.
And I think a lot of that comes down to what we were saying about Dean earlier. People like Justin. A lot of this structural beauty.
Yeah, when you have a wow structure, I think it can carry you over muscularity.
One that transcends size alone. You can transcend size, but you're 1 in a million.
So you hear that, Justin? You're 1 in a million.
1 in a million, just.
I already knew that, but thank you.
His mom tells him every day.
Yeah, when she's combing my hair before bed.
Justin, did you miss Ian? He's your
I did. I didn't want to make a big thing about it, but yeah, of course.
Good to be here.
I miss you, dude.
Miss you.
Been too long.
Who has
I'm just noticing like we're all like pretty much fucking ginger bearded apart from you, Fouad.
Yeah,
I'm always the odd man out.
I got a bit of a little red tint going on.
Mine's getting pretty gray.
We don't have any other brown friends, do we?
No, Jose's brown.
The only other brown friend we have
it's not. He's a fucking Italian guy with a tan.
Yeah, but okay, but still, it's not like he's white.
Yeah, but he's just like it's like Paul. It's like he's still white. He's just not white.
Yeah.
Maybe we need to like get a little bit more invitation.
Diversity in the group. All these white guys.
Should we get
white?
This is a pretty racist podcast,
That really is.
No, because I save us because I'm in the middle.
We're a bunch of racists.
No, but you know what? Actually, on my screen right now, you're at the top, and then there's these 3 like white people below you. Yeah. It's like almost a representation of how you feel about white people.
Yeah, exactly. You're perched up looking down.
Is that what I'm doing?
Like we're your we're your unders.
Who's a black guy that would get on here that would be a good fit?
I mean, you've had Samson
or a brown guy. Is there another brown guy that we get on here?
Who's brown and funny?
Well, I'm not funny, but I'm a host. Who's brown and would fit the group?
Brown and funny.
Well, let's let the comments decide this. They can put in some names.
Yeah, maybe that's a question for people.
Yeah.
All right. Who's brown?
Brown and funny.
Do we need an Asian guy too?
People throw in names, and if you look at the comments, if you see a name that you agree with, like it, because then if the ones get the most likes, then we can kind of decide from there.
Yeah.
Why are we trying to be diverse?
I don't know.
Because it's 2022.
We're just trying to be woke, bro.
Does that mean we need to get like a good gay guy too?
Yeah. Well, you already have me, so you're good.
That's true.
It's true.
You're just a gay rights activist.
I speak for the gays.
You speak for the gays. That's right.
Yeah.
You represent all the
He
gays.
is the voice. He is the
Jose
voice.
wants to get on a podcast with you, by the way. He totally disagrees with your premise.
I know. I saw the clip. He was very confused by that. I saw it. He's like, "What the fuck is this?"
You know what I thought? I watched a little bit of that podcast, and it's like you, Guy, Jose, and then poor Nick. Just so it's like you three old fuckers, and then this 26
And then the youngest guy on the podcast.
But that's the perfect mix because then we have like
Yeah, but you know what?
I
watched like 45 minutes of it. I don't think he said a word.
think Nick just likes to be part of the group.
Yeah.
He's not necessarily very opinionated. He just likes to be part of the group.
Yeah.
Just to be here.
Sometimes it's good just to listen, absorb.
Watching. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good.
Maybe.
Who has the most
Simple.
potential, Brett or Blessing? That's actually a good comparison.
Oh, that's a tough one.
That's actually not as easy as
I think they have equal potential for their nationalities.
what the fuck do their nationalities have to do?
What a fucking PC answer that was there, right?
I think there's as much potential
James,
for.
you always fucking point the race card always.
Yeah, dude.
Well, like I think the potential for Blessing to be an incredible black bodybuilder is as good as the potential for Brett to be an incredible white bodybuilder. But they're
No.
different.
Yeah, they are
It's like
different.
Jay Cutler and Ronnie Coleman.
Yeah.
No, it's not at
It's
all.
not the same. Totally different physiques.
No, Brett is not at all like Jay Cutler.
No, he's not saying that.
No, but Blessing.
And Blessing's
Brett
also
are
not
very
like Ronnie
different
Coleman.
themselves.
He's just saying, yeah.
Wait, you guys both said something at the same time. What does that comparison mean?
No, you
It
didn't.
means that they're two different people. They can't be the same. They can have the same amount of potential, but they can't be the same.
No,
Yeah.
but whose potential is better?
That's what we're trying to work out.
We're doing it by nationality. We start there.
We're doing it by race.
By nationality, man. Whose nationality has more
Saying-
potential?
Look, and I'm not just saying this because obviously me and Blessing have been at odds at times. Look, Blessing is very impressive. But I always get worried when guys are that age and they don't have that level of leg development yet. And I think Brett, in terms of completeness, is maybe a little more overall complete. Even if I think if they stood together at their best right now, maybe Blessing could win, which I'm not saying. I'm just saying I think when you have someone with a more complete physique, it's easier to just continue developing the entirety of it. It
Okay,
shows
so-
that you've been able to develop all muscles equally and you can continue to grow in a balanced way. I think when you get someone like Blessing where they're already in their mid-30s and their legs are somewhat of a weak point, their quads maybe, or legs as a whole, I think it's more difficult to see in my mind that projecting into very good legs that will be stand out at an Olympia level,
Okay, so you gave a
It is a
completely
valid point.
so you gave it a completely objective answer, not based on anything to do with Blessing. I'm going to give a completely objective answer, not based on any history to do with Brett.
Okay.
I think exactly what you said is true, but I also think Brett's legs are not a strong point.
I don't think they're a strong point, but I think they're more balanced with this physique than Blessing.
I don't necessarily agree with that. They're both like similar age, so they're both in their 30s. They both don't have the greatest legs in comparison to their upper body.
Sure.
But I think
I will
and
say
I could be
Say
wrong.
right.
Sorry, Justin, just one thing. I could be wrong about this, but I feel like Blessing has more room to fill out his physique and have more of a wow factor.
I agree in the sense of an upper body. I don't know if I agree with his legs.
Yeah.
and also
tough.
if you're looking at like the trajectory of the last few years, we're steadily watching Brett increase.
Yeah, but we're doing the same for Brett. We're doing the same. Listen, I know people are going to take this the wrong way. This has nothing. I think, look, I signed Brett because I think he's going to be great.
Of course.
But I do believe that Blessing can be great. And I think,
agree.
I think we've
Blessing will
seen,
be a great bodybuilder.
and I think we've seen Blessing's trajectory also
A good rate of
change-
improvement. Yeah.
change in the last couple. I think this question is really interesting because they're very
It's a very
close.
good question. They picked
Yeah.
good people for that question. Yes.
Yeah, they're very close. I don't know who I could. James, what do you think overall? If you had to say at the end of their careers, who is going to have a higher ceiling?
The way they judge at the Olympia.
I'll give this. Sorry to interject, but just something for you to also add in to think on this as well.
Yeah.
I think the one large advantage that Blessing has is overall structural size and clavicle width. You
Yes.
know?
This is exactly what I was going to say.
Yes.
Well, that's what I meant when I said he
And
has
that,
more room.
that in Olympia lineups, being a narrower guy or a smaller structural guy becomes very hard to get noticed on the Olympia stage.
But that's why I said he has more room to fill out, because he's got more of an X frame that's just not full yet.
Yeah.
And I think if he can fill out that X frame, he could potentially be bigger than Brett, overall stature wise, but also with shape.
Sure. Okay.
But at this point,
there's fair arguments to be made for both of them. I mean, I don't know the answer. I could make arguments for either one.
The tough thing about judging Brett right now is the last vision I have in my mind is the stage shot when he wasn't at his best. Because I remember in Tampa when he was at his best, where like we could easily see way more potential, but then he kind of hit a wall there a little bit. So now I don't know how far that ceiling is.
Brett, you're referring to.
Brett, sorry, yeah. Brett in Tampa, the first time we saw him was outstanding.
Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So he's got a hiccup at the Arnold there. So I think people kind of forget how far he can go. And then Blessing has done the opposite.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why I'm saying what I'm saying also.
Well, we'll see Brett on stage at the end of this year, and I think we can make a more fair assessment. So let's retouch this after Blessing's been on the Olympia stage and Brett's been on the stage once again this year, and we can, in 3 months, 4 months from now, we can have a very accurate depiction of this. I'm
interested to see if Brett can thicken up his legs to match his upper body.
I think he can,
because that's the biggest. I think that's the biggest thing for him.
Yeah.
James, you didn't say. You're saying Blessing has a higher.
No,
ceiling
I kind
Brett?
of with like we're saying in regards to like the Olympian lineup and how the structure of Blessing is very suited to that. I think at the moment Blessing's kind of there.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like I think Brett's fantastic and he knows I think he's amazing. I think Brett will come through, but I think right now, if you base off where they're currently up, obviously Blessing is like up there fighting for that second probably batch in the Olympia, possibly, hopefully.
Do you think he's in that second batch?
Blessing,
yeah, maybe like second batch. Like I mean, like 7 to 12. I think. Yeah.
This is for Brett or for Blessing?
For Blessing.
Blessing. Okay.
I think the batches, and we're going back to the tier argument that we had 2 years ago. First tier, 1 through 5. Second tier, 5 through 10.
No, 1 through 6. They generally do a 6-man first call out. So 1 through 6 is first.
I'm a 1.
These are Fouad's tiers.
But you can't be in the first call out and be the 6th man and be second tier.
When we talk about the top guys from last year, do we talk about Nick down or do we talk about Bonac down?
Well, who was in the first call out?
That's not what I'm asking you. I'm asking you when we look at the final numbers from the show, do we have Bonac in that top tier, or does it just go
that's a fair point.
Rami to Nick and then Bonac to 10 and then 11 to 15? Because when I look at it, I look at Nick and then everybody else down but below him, and then I go Bonac to 10 and then 11 to 15.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's kind of how I look at it, right?
Yeah, because I see Blessing. I see obviously me and Bonac was a lot closer, tighter battle than it was between Nick and Bonac.
That's what I'm saying. But in your defense, Ian, I think that 6th person could be in that first tier. It just depends how their body looks.
Yes, no, but this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It really depends on how the call-outs are and how those physiques match up in that call-out.
Yeah.
So like the year before when Akeem was 6th, you could make a case for Akeem being a top-tier guy there. I mean, he fit in very well with that first call-out. He was big. He was in good condition.
Yeah.
And I think he was closer to the top guys than I was closer to him being 7th.
I think, and I hope Blessing doesn't take offense to this, but I see him in the 3rd pack myself.
I agree there, but I think for a first Olympia, that's nothing to be. And especially in this Olympia too, it's nothing to be ashamed of.
Listen, I'm not want to talk about places at the Olympia. I think just being at the Olympia is fucking incredible. Getting there, especially
this Olympia. I mean, there's going to be 35 fucking guys in this Olympia. It's going to be
and then also, that's also saying like the depth of this lineup.
Yeah,
there's a lot of guys that could be in that 3rd call out that could easily win shows, like in any show they walk into.
Yeah, I mean, majority of them will have won any show they walked into.
That's right. So it's like, that's not really it's just such a deep lineup. I don't know if he can crack the top 10.
Yeah, no, I can agree with you there.
James?
No, with this particular lineup, that's very much. I'm kind of looking at it from like, I was looking at it from the Olympia year that I done.
Yeah.
Because there was only like 16 people.
Yeah.
So I think I'm forgetting that there's that many.
I think this year is going to be very, very different and very challenging. Different. Very challenging to a lot of guys. Yeah. We have all the guys that are qualified, and then you could possibly throw Derek Lunsford in there. You could possibly throw Sean Clarita in there. Maybe like, fuck, man, I don't remember.
And then you're now throwing in Andrew Jack and potentially Crizzo in there.
That's right.
I haven't.
I don't remember I don't remember an Olympia like this for a very, very long time, because usually you had like Jay and Ronnie battling it out for first and second. Then you had the Phil and Kai show.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's very like kind of wide open.
Very wide open.
Yeah.
That fucking athletes meeting before is going to be a very full room.
Yeah.
it is.
It could be a great conference. I hope they.
Yeah, the press conference. Could
I don't
be,
like
they
to
do it
knock.
at
I don't like
BBC.
to knock anybody's ideas. I think all ideas are good, but I really like the old press conferences better.
With everyone.
I do.
When they sat everybody down and everybody got a chance to speak to one another instead of them bringing out like two people only.
Yeah, because you have your private little, like, even if you're a third
Yeah.
tier guy, you can have your beef with another third tier guy.
That's right. You're all sitting on the stage together, right?
Like-
So
Yeah,
I feel like
me and Blessing will make all sorts of noise if we end up in that.
I would love them to bring that back.
I hope they do. I wonder who we could
I
talk
watched
to.
that on all the old DVDs. I used to watch them all the time.
I wonder who the
when I
fans-
did the Instagram live with Tamer, with Tarek and those other guys with Sean Ray and Blessing and
Blessing,
stuff.
yeah.
Blessing said something about that, and Tarek was like, "All right, well, we can make this happen, get everyone up there, you know."
Yeah. I think you
I
guys
think it just feels a bit more organic. Like, I felt like the two people, it just didn't feel as comfortable.
it feels too WWE when you do that.
Yeah, it felt like fixed and rigged. And
Yeah. I think, one of the things I think, and everybody's got their fucking opinion. My opinion is just another opinion. One of the things I think the Olympia is doing now that they should be doing even more so leading up to the show is don't make the press conference the part where everybody gets to know the athletes. Get the athletes on their channel and on all these other channels so everybody knows who the players are, what the beefs are, what the stories are before they even get to the fucking press conference. Then you don't have to try and create this bullshit kind of beef. It's already created.
I agree with you. The problem is that most of these guys' platforms are significantly bigger than the Olympia's platform. So, like, even if you're putting us up in videos and promoting your athletes before the platform, its reach is still very small.
But what the Olympia could be doing, if they really wanted to, right? They could invest in channels that do have a platform, like even like Greg Doucette. You get Greg Doucette involved. You get Seth Feroce involved. You get me involved. You get More Plates, More Dates. Get Nick Strength and Power, right?
Yep.
You start getting these bodybuilding channels that are helping promote, or like Tregilly's channel. You get these channels that are trying to promote bodybuilding, and you say, hey, we're going to give you guys whatever percentage or whatever. Even, I don't know what they're going to give, right? But we want you guys to have all these people on your platforms so that we can promote these beefs or their stories or whatever.
Yeah.
So that when they get to the press conference, everybody sitting there already knows the story.
They know the storylines, they know
Yeah.
the characters. Yeah, I get that.
You can't tell the story at the fucking show. There's just not enough time.
No.
You gotta tell all those stories before you get there. So yeah,
That's a fair point.
anyway. We already did that one. Who on the podcast can eat a medium-sized apple in the least amount of bites?
Who's got the biggest mouth?
A medium-sized apple is like what? Like that?
Who do we think physically has the biggest mouth?
Paul. I just thought of it. Paul, without a doubt.
There you go.
This guy routinely one bites like a Tim Hortons muffin. He'll just take the whole thing and like
every time we're eating with Paul, Fuad's always like,
look, honestly, I don't know why, but he eats shit like someone's gonna take it away from him. So it's like
I've seen it.
But there we go. Then we have an answer.
Can you YouTube right now and see if there's any videos of someone eating an entire apple in one bite?
Gotta be.
Like, someone's got to have done that, you know? Like,
There's gotta be someone that can like
pour it
dislocate
all,
the
just
bottom
like
jaw.
in the mouth and bite it, you know? Someone's done it.
They can, like, like how snake's jaw comes out.
Yeah, someone's done this for sure. There's some interesting people in the world.
okay, let's see.
I bet it's a woman.
Oh wait.
Oh,
What?
Wait.
You don't look comfortable.
I don't like this at all.
Oh my god. What the
That
fuck?
was pretty impressive, to be fair.
Amazing.
I think I could do that.
You look good doing it.
Do
No,
it.
I'm just saying because he kind of like put it in his mouth and he kind of ate half of it and then brought the rest
Yeah,
down.
but still, imagine how hard that is, because that's like
That'd be hard.
Yeah, to fit
Yeah,
an
ain't
entire
easy, man.
apple,
One
even,
hand.
Good sized apple.
even period, just to get it in there is impressive.
I'm not impressed.
We'll go get an apple and see how close you can get.
live on air. We
Should
do
I?
it live.
I think I'm limited to like tangerines, you know, or like no, the small.
Introducing Quad Lock Mount.
You don't have a
compatible with all your existing Quad Lock mounts.
I don't have a very big mouth.
You don't have an apple at your house?
No, I have a banana, but I'm certainly not trying that.
Do it.
No.
Look.
That's not a very big apple. That's not a very big apple.
Look at this.
What apple is
You
that?
take the stem off.
Yeah, you did.
I don't want to try.
Jesus.
I think now's a bit of a small apple.
This is like, there's no way you're fitting that. Look at the size of this fucker, you know?
Oh my God.
There's no chance.
I think I could do it.
No. Yeah. Thanks.
Why are people doing
Hey guys,
this?
welcome to Jack Swish. Jack Swish here. Today I'm going to head one of these. No way, no way.
Anything that
There
has
ended up
been
being
a-
enough hype that it was about at my own risk. Right, okay, let's try this.
Oh my God. Yo, this seems kind of dangerous. No, like what if I get stuck in it?
I like the music.
What the fuck is this guy doing?
You know what this looks like right now? It looks like a vagina with
sucking
a
cock.
head coming out of it. You know? Looks like a birth video.
What the
Yeah,
fuck,
I didn't
man?
really enjoy that. All
No,
that
me
much.
neither.
Why do people do all this shit, man?
Because it's in the
You want to be
internet.
famous.
What profession would you pick if you were not a bodybuilder? We've done this one before. I recently started my first PED cycle of SARMs. Do you guys have any experience with SARMs and their effectiveness?
No, take real steroids.
I was just gonna say that.
Drop the SARMs, buy injectable testosterone. The end.
That's not our recommendation. Don't listen to Ian.
That's my recommendation.
Rate your physiques. You guys mentioned before how hard it is to get all your food in the off season. Why not eat more calorie dense options rather than sticking to meat and rice? Oh God, I know where this is coming from. Or try incorporating incorporating dirty carbs. Example: 100 grams of carbs from Pop-Tarts would be easier to get down compared to 100 grams of carbs from rice.
People
They
don't
don't
take
realize.
into consideration digestibility. Once you eat 100 grams of carbs from Pop-Tarts 5 times a day and tell me how your stomach feels the next day.
Yeah.
People just don't. It's funny how we've been doing this bodybuilding thing for like decades, and somebody comes along and is like, hey, didn't you think of eating oil? Why don't you just down some oil? There's some like,
Yeah.
Like, imagine your
Like
blood
there hasn't
sugar
been
as well.
some trial and error.
Yeah. Imagine what your blood glucose would be at if you're just eating fucking
Yeah.
20 Pop-Tarts a day.
Pop-Tarts fucking 10 times a day.
you know, Evan said it best a long time ago, because this is going to be really obvious, but Evan just said, what you want to eat is shit that you can get into your system and get out of your system really quickly so that you're hungry again in 2 hours or whatever. So you can just keep eating. You don't want to eat things that are just going to sit
Well,
there.
in that capacity, Pop-Tarts may be in and out pretty quick. I mean, they're going to be a lot of sugars. I mean, they're probably digest relatively quickly, but I don't know what kind of toll the other additives in there are going to do on your digestive system, you know?
I don't know if eating Pop-Tarts with a steak or with chicken 5 times a day is going to digest well. I don't know if it's going to be in and out of your system.
You just need to hunt a Labrador and just do a shake and a.
And why
Pop-Tart.
you just blend up the Pop-Tarts with the chicken and then just down it?
Yeah.
Chicken Pop-Tarts.
Yeah.
Chicken Pop-Tarts.
Hmm.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. Why don't you do it?
Stupid question. Let's move
Do
on.
it, Justin.
Pop-Tarts every day?
I want a solid answer to this guy. What would happen if you switched out your 300 grams of rice for 2 Pop-Tarts at every meal? Why can't you do that?
I know that I would feel like garbage, and I know that my digestion would go to shit, and that the following day I wouldn't be able to eat.
You wouldn't be
I just-
hungry.
And there would, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
There would just be a compounding effect that over time it's not sustainable.
You know what? This also doesn't even make sense, but in my head, even if the calories were the same, you would just be fatter, you know?
I know it doesn't really check out, but I still think
You'd just be fat and sloppy and gross. So just don't do it, okay?
There is a lot to be said with the actual ingredients of food. You know,
The less
like you say-
ingredients, the better, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
If you look at something that has 25 ingredients, it's not as good as something that has 2.
Probably not perfect.
Mhm.
Favorite activity to pass the time while you're taking a dump? What?
I play balloons.
Balloons?
Yeah, it's a
You're
great
all
game.
about it.
Have you guys ever played balloons?
No.
I never have.
It's like a game like this where you It's a course, and the balloons try and get through it to the other end. You
balloons.
build towers and try and kill them.
Oh,
So you sit on the toilet and do that?
It's a tower defense game for your cell phone. It's amazing. Yeah.
I don't do that.
It's the best game for cardio too, because like one round of it can take like 30 minutes. So like one round and you'll pass by an entire thing of cardio and you're like, oh shit, it's done.
Yeah. There you go.
Games-
Tip.
You're the gaming guy. How come you don't play games on the toilet?
Well, because he plays real
Because I don't like games on. I don't like games on phones.
Yeah, he plays real video games.
Justin,
I don't really do games on my phone. I'm not
What do you
opposed to it.
what do you do on the toilet?
I don't know. Fucking cruise Instagram or fucking do client check-ins. I'm like responding to check-ins while I'm shitting.
You do.
You look great.
You guys ever realize too, before social media, how much less time we spent sitting on the toilet? Like when I was younger, I literally used to just like sit down, poop, stand up. I was out there in 30 seconds.
Oh yeah.
And I would always be so confused with like, people would be like, oh yeah, I fucking take 5 minutes. I'm like, for what? Like I literally just push the poop out and I'm done. But now I like sit down, I like pull my phone out.
True.
I text people back and
20 minutes, you know?
Yeah,
my thing is every morning I go out in the garden and I pose and I film it, and then I go for a shit and I sit and I do screen grabs.
Mhm.
Why? Oh, okay.
While you're shitting.
Because the screen grabs take about the same time as my shit, so it's good.
I'm in a rhythm of like I wake up, I have a cup of coffee, I take a shit, I eat a meal, and then I take a shit again. So my morning's got a lot of pooping in it.
Yeah.
Why?
Perfect.
You shit twice.
Dual pooping.
Back to back.
Well, 'cause you're pooping out the days before, and then you get the system started with some food, and then you get that moving out too.
Coffee's great for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
When I
No,
wake
I
up,
always poop. Like, I always usually have a bit about two.
Acts like
poops.
it's
There's
bizarre
always a little
that
bit to get out.
pooping.
it's bizarre.
Fouad doesn't poop.
No, it's just you're shitting back to back. It doesn't make sense to me.
It's like an hour apart.
All right.
It's not abnormal, especially in
But-
an off season where
hey,
I'm eating 5,000 plus
Whatever
calories.
makes you a great bodybuilder, I don't care. Just shit.
I poop. Poop comes for me when I hit a front double bicep and I try to vacuum.
Really?
Maybe
Yeah, I
that's
can't
why it's
vacuum,
on my
but
vacuum.
when I do that sucking bit, I'm like, okay, poop.
Like it's like a toothpaste, like just squeeze it out like that.
Literally,
Rolling up
literally
this-
that is.
There's a bunch of rate your physiques. You guys want to rate any of them?
Let's do 2.
All right, let's take this guy, pancakes, and
I haven't done this in a long time. Fuck.
okay, pancakes and breeze. There he is, Jake Sakila.
Hi, Jake.
Rate my physique:
Big
5
Jake.
foot 5.5 inches, 174, open and classic, competing in the universe in 5.5 weeks. But this Q&A is old, so he's probably
Do
already
212.
He's probably
do
already
212.
competed. I will next. One sec. So this is
No, him. I'm telling him to do 212.
Oh, yeah. So these are his show picks, obviously. It's already gone by. He's definitely not hard enough.
Yeah, conditioning obviously needs a significant improvement.
He can pose and he's got good structure, but he's nowhere near in shape.
I say this with all the love in the world. Spend less time posing and more time doing cardio.
Absolutely. Get the
Yeah.
physique first.
Posing is cool and all, but the point is to have a good physique, not to be a good poser.
Yeah, like you could be a shit poser and be in better shape and probably do better.
Look, I'm a shit
Yes.
poser. I've come second at the Olympia. There's 7th at the Olympia twice. So
And I definitely wouldn't wear trunks this small if I wasn't in shape.
yeah.
I
If
had
I
this thought today. I haven't practiced my posing as much as I normally do, but I was like, I'm focusing more on how actually looking fucking good.
Okay, wait, is he natural? I have to ask.
It'll say in his bio if he is for sure.
Well, NPC Universe is a natural show, isn't it, or no?
I
Not
don't know.
anymore.
I don't
I
know.
actually don't know.
Justin, you're the only American here. Do you know?
I have no idea. I couldn't tell you.
What's this video there? That one was the most muscular.
All right. So what are we saying?
I don't think he has a bad physique by any means. I think
I'm with
his
James.
quads look good.
Structure is pretty good. It looks more like a bodybuilding physique than a
It
classic
does.
physique to me.
It just
Yeah,
That's why I said do 212.
That's a good shot. I mean, like I think he looks good, most muscular for a younger guy. It's just obviously the conditioning is hard to make a fair account.
back
for the
was pretty thick there.
I'm just going to say I see a bodybuilder that needs to put on another 25 pounds.
Yes.
I don't see a classic physique there.
No, I
Because
think you should stick to bodybuilding. Yes.
And everything he's been posting, he's in posing trunks.
Yeah. Look, if you want to be a classic-y posing bodybuilder, great, but you are a bodybuilder.
Yeah, this is a bodybuilding structure for sure.
He looks quite young as well.
Yeah, I mean, he's hashtagging bodybuilding in there, so I think he is a bodybuilder.
Well,
guy.
yeah, he's not. I'm sorry. He said Oh, he's doing open and classics. Okay, well, stick to open, man. Like that's
Yeah, definitely.
okay. I miss rating physiques.
Yeah, stick to the open. Just get peeled, dude. Like, just who cares if you feel a little smaller?
When I was a young man, and I know you're the same, Ian, when you were the young bodybuilder, you just aimed to get gnarly.
All I cared about was literally starving myself to the point that I was so lean that I was always going to be the leanest guy.
Yeah, you're the only one in that shape and you win.
Why didn't you add me into that, James? I'm a little bit offended.
Well, when you were young, you weren't born yet.
Yeah.
You're an idiot. All right, this is Justin Grinberg. He's 5'6", 182, and he's a teen. This guy.
Looks like we could basically repeat what we just said.
Yeah.
Well, he's a teen. I mean, this is pretty good for a teen.
He's got good muscularity. I mean, it's an overall pretty good physique. His delts look pretty decent. I mean,
got thick legs.
Thick legs. Okay,
it's just like condition, man.
Yeah, condition. Boys.
Well, I remember my first show, and I can't say I was super conditioned. My first show, my legs were a little bit harder than this. My upper body was much harder, but my legs never got super hard my very first show.
No, mine didn't either.
Well,
they were harder. They were harder than this, but not. Everything looks like it's there. Like even his back is like pretty developed for a teen.
Yeah, for 18. Yeah.
I would just say, look, man, get bigger. Like I don't know.
Look, this is the thing. You don't need to be bigger tomorrow. We're not saying to this guy be bigger next week. We're saying just continue to stay the course of trying to get bigger. That's the goal as a bodybuilder. We're doing the same things as you are as for this kid. Just keep trying to grow, you know?
Yeah, that's good advice.
I would say this as well. I'd say when you focus on doing a bodybuilding show, the one thing that you'll always be able to look back on and be happy with and proud of is your condition.
Look at this. This is
actually
actually
at the time. If you're not the most muscular person at the time of doing a show, so be it. But if you were in amazing condition and you can look back and go, well, at least I nailed that. I always find that.
Can I just
say
I
always feel like that's rewarding.
Can I just say this since we're trying to critique a physique? If I was coaching this kid, I would be like, look, your legs are phenomenal.
Yes.
I would work on the back as much. Like this is thick and thick calves too.
Those are good quads and calves.
I would say just work on your back as much as anything, because good legs and a good back can carry you over many things. Like,
and then obviously the conditioning alongside those.
Yeah, of course. But seeing as he's so young, I feel like your main focus should be like, let's just get those fucking lats to
just grow. Yeah.
Get the same size as those fucking calves and legs.
But take your time. Like you don't need to be 300 pounds at 21. Just do your thing, you know?
All right, let me see if I can find a bodybuilder in here.
Kid's got some good legs on him.
Yeah. Dave Hardy. Let's see what Dave Hardy looks like. There he is. All right, Dave Hardy it just says, please rate my physique. Love the podcast. All right, we got some good shots here.
Yeah, listen.
8 weeks out, fasted check-in picks this morning. Anyone who's prepped knows inside 6 to 8 weeks, this is where things get fun. Okay, so he's 6 to 8 weeks out, 8 weeks out. So condition's not bad for 8 weeks. It's pretty good.
No, 8 weeks,
yeah.
Great nutrition, nice small waist.
I feel like structurally, I shouldn't say structurally.
Looking.
I say proportionately, everything matches.
Yeah, fees. Yeah.
Would you guys agree?
I don't see anything that's drastically behind anything else.
Yeah.
No, not really. I mean, you could maybe say his triceps a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah.
Especially on like the front lat, the most muscular. But I mean, overall, he's got good, nice round delts. His arms look good in the side tricep. But like there, you can see he's
triceps.
His triceps.
You're totally right.
Yeah.
What do you reckon, boys? A bit more.
Chest is good. He's got a good chest, good delts.
I think he's very proportionate, minus the triceps could use more work, obviously, but it's also a symptom of his shoulders being so
fucking
big.
Crazy cannonball ass delts. So look at those fuckers.
Yeah, that's why it's like
so round, like they're front to back, very complete delts.
Yeah.
Some people just got really good delts.
I don't know what class he's competing in, so it's hard to rate him, but I would just say.
Well, he's got posing. I'm assuming bodybuilding.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't know like what class he's in. Like I don't know what weight. It doesn't say his weight or anything. So I don't know. Like, is he a light heavy? Is he a middleweight?
He looks tall.
Tall.
Anyway, physique wise, I'm going to say I would keep doing exactly what you're doing. Maybe focus on arm days a little bit.
Yeah.
But everything else looks pretty proportionate.
Wait, we haven't even giving ratings for any of these physiques.
Well, because the first two kids I felt were way too young to rate.
Okay.
They just needed to
So
just grow.
this dude's heading into nationals, correct? Is that what I read? 8 weeks
Yeah,
out
it said
from
nationals, I
qualifier,
think,
and
on the previous.
so
Yeah.
as far as this guy on a national stage, I guess it is kind of tough because we don't know his weight or his weight class. I'm gonna assume a heavyweight.
Let's see what his form's like. That's heavy for a fucking stiff leg.
Yeah,
Was that 5 1/4 or 6 1/4? 5 1/4.
Looks like 5 1/4.
yeah,
Strong.
yep, that's really strong.
Eating bodybuilder meals. I mean, good on you.
Well,
Should try
think-
Pop Tarts.
I think rating wise, if we're saying try Pop Tarts, I think rating wise, if we're gonna say he's doing the nationals, I'm gonna say he's like a 7.2.
Yeah, I give him like low 7s. Yeah, high
Yeah,
6, low 7.
It just needs more size. That's all.
Yeah, he looks like a longer physique. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't know if he's undersized a bit for his structure or if he is a taller guy. Like he could be shorter and just be a little thin still. I don't really know. He looks taller to me. So yeah, just fill in that physique more. Condition looks good. Shape is nice. Got good midsection, some good parts there. Yeah, I give him like a 7. Yeah.
Yep, just hammer the triceps.
Yeah.
All right.
Just
Alpe.
use Synthol. It's way easier, guys.
Yeah, that's actually what I do.
Look at the quads on this fucker.
Alpe, rate my physique 5'10, 242, first time competing next year. In
This is a Brit thing, James. You guys like to pose in your backyards, eh?
I know what's up with that.
Yeah.
I actually know this gentleman as well.
Yeah, I feel like every time I see a British bodybuilder, they're posing outside. North American bodybuilders very rarely are posing outside.
Well,
It might be a trend that was set by
I pose right there on my
bodybuilder.
back porch.
Who knows?
Yeah.
it's
It's
hard
just
to
difficult
judge.
to find.
It's hard to judge some of the body parts because of the body fat level, but I feel like the back needs to come up a bit.
But I mean, his legs, his hamstrings, actually, his quads and hamstrings look pretty good.
It looked like his hams from the side could be a little thicker.
From the
From the
front,
side, yeah. I didn't see him from the side yet, but
Well,
Oh, yeah.
right
I'm not
there.
sure. He was working with a friend of mine, coaching him, but I don't know if he still is.
it's really hard to
There's
tell.
no
when
has he ever
someone's on
competed? Yeah, has he ever competed? Go
there. No,
fight.
no, this is his first show. This is his first show. he said.
I mean, he's got some good muscularity for his first show. I mean,
He's 33 years old.
okay.
I can't tell if his back is good or it's too thin because it's in the off season.
Well, there's some. Yeah, here's a posing video.
It's not.
Work for FedEx.
Well, you guys got that going for him.
Yep.
I don't know. It's a little too hard to judge.
He's got good quads. Though. I'll give him the quads are solid.
But there you go. Down on the bottom left, you can see, I think, a little clearer the back shot.
Yeah, back obviously needs to improve.
Back needs to come up. Yeah, it needs some work. Waist is a little thick, so that means your back's got to be even bigger,
Yeah.
just to kind of create more of that taper from the
And it
front.
does look like look at that most muscular. It's like you bring his shoulders
Can
up.
we watch him hack squat there?
Where this one? How many plates here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
It's 6.
It's 6. Sorry. Is there a band on there? Nope.
Good for
Good
him.
boy. Good boy.
Good depth.
Yeah. Good hacks. Good rep speed.
Good.
All right. Well, he's got good legs. We should see what his back workouts look like. Here's some
There it is.
rows.
Well, this could be improved, obviously.
This could be. Oh, this is what he's doing. The thing that I hate the most with rows.
Well, he's using 190s, which is completely unnecessary here.
No, but he's pulling. See how he's pulling his torso first to get the momentum going, and then he brings his
lifting
elbow.
that whole shoulder up.
Yeah. So this isn't what you need to be lifting from the elbow first, not the back first. Like
Yeah,
he's
pulling from the lat, not from the shoulder.
Yeah, he's turning his whole body before he actually even pulls his arm.
I mean, look, it's obviously impressive strength doing 190s either way, but if he butt this down to like 130s or 140s and made that full, like
You know, yeah, I'll say this. If my friend, you'll notice your lats grow a lot more if you reduce that weight
Well, because
quite substantially.
and use the muscle you're intending to use.
but what
Not because
the other reason we're saying it is if your back is
we
your
want you
weak
to
point,
progress.
if your back is your weak point, this is part of the reason why.
Yes.
You're
And it's
using,
also, if you look at that, he's really not nailing his lat. He's nailing his rhomboids and
Rhomboids.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like he's pulling here first, and he's like, yeah, okay. So we're all on the same page.
Mhm.
What's a deadlift look like? I would just say take more time at the top. I don't like it when guys deadlift and they like do that spring and down.
I don't like touch and go deadlifts really either, but I mean,
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
prefer
prefer dead stop.
I'm
I
saying,
prefer deads up.
yeah,
I like
man,
that tension at the bottom when you're doing dead stops.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't necessarily. I like to dead stop.
I mean, it's literally called a deadlift.
Yes.
Because you are doing from a dead stop. So deadlift your deadlifts, okay?
What weight is this? Because this is a little bit better.
That's 175. That's
so he came down 15
No,
pounds.
I think I'm right. I think at the 140, 130 range, you would have very good form with the dumbbell.
Yeah.
I think
don't think dumbbell rows are for everybody, if I'm honest. I think you should be very selective of what you do.
I agree with that too, James.
I think this guy's doing a lot of the you should do them movements like
deadlifts, back squats, barbell rows,
Look, I just want to say something else. This is the other reason why I like feet together on dumbbell rows. See how his body's kind of getting the whole thing started? Like he's kind of almost squatting a bit.
Yeah.
He's like using his hips.
Square your feet up and get a little, and if he held onto the bottom part of the rack, and then drag that dumbbell up the side of his leg.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was an incline.
There's very few people out there that I feel that when I watch them dumbbell row, it looks spot on, and that's people like Regan. Regan, Derek Lunsford. There's a few people with those
that's a good incline press. I have no problem there.
Yeah. Well, we're really critiquing this guy hard.
Front squat. Let's see, it's front squat.
Yes, he's been to the gym. Look, King.
Oh yeah, it's just King's gym, right?
Yeah, the old one. His
All
name's
right.
Jay.
Let's see. Here, let me expand this.
Rate my physique and then shit on my training.
We're not shitting. We're helping.
No, he's got all the effort. He's got
no, he's not. The guy's fucking.
It's the execution. It's the execution.
Yeah,
I think his front squats are fine. I would just take a little bit more time.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just see guys. There's a lot of effort in the gym. And it's just misguided.
Yeah.
The longer I've been bodybuilding, the more I've realized what movements I don't need, even though they look good.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Am I still sharing my screen? No, right? Okay,
it's just gone now.
I don't know what just happened. Okay. We'll move on from there.
Yeah.
How do you keep your joints feeling like they're 60-year-olds with, I can't even fucking read. How do you keep your joints from feeling like a 60-year-old with arthritis?
I've honestly found the thing that's helped me the most is, and I've done this for years, is I take astronomical doses of fish oils all the time.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But also, I think managing volume and frequency, sometimes people are just
and form. I mean, obviously,
for sure.
That kid training with a little more herky jerky form, especially in the bottom of movements, loading the joints like that is going to hurt more.
I'll say a lot of the reason why I train the way I do, especially pressing and things like that, is to mitigate joint pain.
Yes,
I find if I'm just pressing like this on a machine, my elbows are blasted.
Yeah,
I love you, Justin.
I love you too, man.
Your first thing is volume. Don't do too much volume.
Hey, I'm just talking about the guys that are doing like 15.
He said managing volume. He didn't say too much volume.
Hey, I don't need you to defend your boyfriend. Just be quiet.
But you don't have a point.
Yeah.
Whether you want to acknowledge it or not.
What? That your boyfriend?
Yeah.
No,
but I think supplement wise, turmeric and fish oils in good doses will help. And I think other than that, training matters, volume matters, all these things as well. Stretching, I think tightness and muscle balances. Like for me, if I let my hips and quads get tight, my knees will be destroyed. So I stretch every day, static stretching after cardio every day.
All right, we'll do this one last. What was one trait you all took from your parents that you are thankful for to this day? P.S. Love the podcast. Who wants to start?
I wish I had a little bit more of it. I think my dad's just one of the hardest working people I've ever met in my life.
I think my dad's the same, and I wish I had that. I was literally going to say the same thing.
He's a fucking animal. Like I worked with my dad a lot through my younger years, and I just he's always worked circles around me. In his late 50s, he's just so much harder of a worker than I am.
Yeah, my dad is 75 and would still outwork me in any kind of laborious job, with nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, with timeout, I just want to ask you this because I feel the same way about my mom and my dad.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think you can get to the position any of us are without having good work ethic. It's just not the same.
Of course. Different.
Like where I looked at my dad come home with fucking holes in his shirt from welding, and my mom basically making our clothes and cooking all our fucking food and all that shit every single day, driving us around. Yeah, I don't have that kind of work, but do you get to the top of any field or have a successful business or have a successful life without having a work ethic?
I will say I think about my dad quite a bit in my day-to-day, and I think I do call on what I've grown up to see as a hard work ethic. I think that has rubbed off on me, and I learned everything about working fucking hard and being a provider from my dad. So
you know what I think about my mom and my dad the most is when I complain. When I'm complaining about some shit I got to do in a day, I'm like, I never ever heard them complain.
I've never heard either of my parents complain in my entire life. I've literally seen my dad like cut off his finger and be like, "Oh, it's fine, tape it up and get back to work."
I never heard my mom say, "I got to make dinner for you guys." Like I never fucking heard. Or I got to pick up your brother. Fuck, why do I got to? Like I never.
Like Justin said, like you said, it's like, you know, my mom, like when I was younger, would fucking drive us everywhere, like nonstop, everywhere you want to go. Never complained. You know,
I told Summer once. She's like, "You never took a bus?" I'm like, "I never took a bus."
No.
My mom had 5 fucking kids.
Yep.
And she drove us everywhere and made all our food and cooked. Made even at one point she was making our clothing.
I think this is the one thing that I think I've picked up both my parents the best is I'm very good at maintaining my composure in situations that a lot of people would be very aloof or stressed out in. Like say like our dog is like eat something and is fucking about to die. Melissa will be in frantic crying, freaking out, and I can maintain composure very good in situations like that.
Yeah.
I will see. I get that from my mom. And I think get the goddamn door.
The door. Someone's at the door. James, are you okay? Anything to say about this? Any traits you took from your mom?
Yeah, no, I was going to say, yeah, Yannick, can you get the door?
I'm in the shower.
Yannick, the door's going, honestly.
Like, I'm fucking naked.
Yeah, fuck you naked. I don't care if you're naked. Let me see you. My thing is what I noticed with my mother was her ability to anyone she met from any walk of life. Some of us would look at them and be like, I don't really want them to approach me. Maybe like judgmental of characters because they're different. And my mum was never one to not let someone at least in to figure out who they are and give them a chance. She worked in prisons, so she was around convicts and people of all different like a lot of people that were considered bad people, but for some reason could always relate and see good in the people that were trying to rehabilitate. Yeah, and that quality is something that I always think about. So when I look at people that are very different than me, whether it be where they're from, what they do, their sexuality, anything like that, I never ever let that I never get a preconception of who they are, what I think they are, until I let them give me the opportunity to figure them out.
Wow,
and I like that.
That's so different. That's so different from my parents.
Yeah,
my dad was like,
my mother would talk to people I know that have killed people.
Yeah, no,
and yet still come home from work and be like, you know what? There's something about that man I really like.
Yeah.
So that's the strongest thing you got from her, because you are like that actually.
Yeah.
I am. Yeah, no, I think so. Like I can walk into a fucking ghetto with people that probably do crime every day and somehow find a way to converse with people there and feel comfortable.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is, but it's definitely from my mother.
That's beautiful. It's good.
That's so much better than our answers.
Yeah, that was a good answer.
No, it's just different.
It's different, but I think it does a very well thought.
They're all valuable.
Yeah.
They're all valuable.
I will say that my moral compass came from my mother. You know, I think a lot about how I conduct myself in my day based on my mom.
Go ahead. Sorry, Justin.
No, sorry. I was just saying my mom.
No.
I feel like is even with everything she has going on right now. I mean, I'll be open. She's battling stage 4 esophageal cancer, and she just refuses to be a victim. Like she refuses to, like, you know, like at any point, like, are you mad that this is happening? And I feel like just her level of acceptance is impressive, and she's just you know, in those moments you almost want to be angry at the circumstances, but I think she just refuses to be.
Yeah,
and she's
I totally
I wonder if that's a generational thing, because James, I think your mom had the same kind of personality.
Stage 4 bowel cancer.
Yeah,
and just always fought, didn't let it. I don't know.
Yeah, my mom just keeps fighting and putting her best foot forward, and you know, that's
my mom.
I haven't heard her complain one word, man. I mean, not one. I mean, she hasn't.
The mad thing.
She hasn't eaten solid food in months. She can't drink water. I mean, nothing. But she's just. I mean,
do you know the thing is?
You won't hear her complain.
Do you know the thing, Jay? Because do you know the only thing that matters to your mum is that she sees that you're fine.
Yeah,
like she and that's what I realized this from my mother. Everything, the only thing that really mattered to her in all of that happening was, are my children okay?
Yeah.
And that's it. And
Yeah.
as long as the children are okay, there was still the ability to smile and be happy with
No, and
the
I
life
know
she's created. Yeah.
I know my mom's at peace because she knows she did a good job raising us,
Absolutely,
and
brother.
that we're in a good place. And
Yeah, man. And proud, and that's the
she's
main
proud,
thing. Yeah, good man.
Mhm.
Bless you, brother.
Yeah, I don't have much to add to that. I think I went through my own thing with my mom in February.
Yeah.
I think it's generational. I think they just they're raised differently. I don't know if like my dad went through his illness before he passed. I don't think I would be like my dad. I always, you said earlier, Justin, you said you think about your dad all the time and work ethic and how you could be.
yeah, oh yeah. Mhm.
I always feel like I'm not even coming close to living up to who he was.
Oh, me neither.
I'm like,
It's,
no
I mean,
matter.
there's so many times in my day where I'm like, fuck it, I'll do it tomorrow. But I just know my dad is always that guy that's gonna stay there and get it done.
Yeah,
Always.
yeah, my dad's the same.
No matter what. I believe
Yeah.
I walk away from shit like fuck it all the time. I'm like, God, my dad would not do that.
I know. My dad is like that. Like it's like something that's so insignificant too. And he'll sit there and he'll figure it out and toil with something until he gets it done. He gets it done right. He won't half-ass anything. He'll make it sure it's done.
Yeah,
and done.
he gets it done right. I worked with my dad for 10 years. Fucking 80% of the time, he would send us on lunch and he would just work through the whole day. He would never take a lunch. He just worked 10
But
hours
is it-
straight.
so can I ask you this? Because I always feel guilty about that side of things because my dad was also the same. But
I don't necessarily
Should
think
we
it's
feel-
always a healthy thing, you know?
But 1 second. So should we feel guilty or are we just better at other things or better in other ways?
I don't think we should feel guilty. I think it's something that we can look up to and want and try to emulate, but I don't think you need to be the same or be as good at that one specific thing. I think, Justin looks at his dad and he can look at that and be like, this is something of him that, I want to try and emulate my best. And even if you never achieve that same level of, whatever, it's still something to guide you and aim towards. And I don't think you should feel ashamed that you, or, embarrassed that you don't get to the same level. I think there's a lot of things Justin's probably better at than his dad, that his dad probably is like, man, Justin's really great at this. I wish I was like that when I was his age or whatever. But I think there's strengths in different things,
I will
look
say
at it.
my dad never had much of a growth mindset within his business, and he was the guy doing the work. He's always the laborer. What I think I do a good job of is allocating these tasks and allowing myself to build my businesses and do more because I'm not married to the grind myself. And I would wish my dad had some more of that. I wish he would quit being the guy on the fucking ladder in the sun all day. I mean, he's, in his 60s, he looks like a piece of leather and he's working his fucking ass off to the bone every day.
I think unlike you guys, I do have a level of shame that I'm not like my dad because my dad was my fucking hero. And I always wanted to emulate the way he handled things and did things.
Yeah.
And I'm totally different. Like if my dad, look at this, if my dad knew I had a guy cut my grass and I was paying him, he'd be like,
what would your dad think of the level of success you've created and all the business and everything that you've done now?
Well, I mean, he would be extremely proud of me. But when I look when we think of what a man does and work ethic, if my dad knew I had somebody cut my grass, he'd be like, you're a fucking asshole.
Yeah, but maybe it's like, okay, you're doing that, but in that time you're, using it towards
there's obviously a give and take to where work ethic is allocated. I get it.
Yeah. And I have someone mowing my lawn, and half the time
some of the most successful hardworking people in the world aren't generally cutting their own fucking lawns,
I know. I just, when I think of
I understand what you're saying. My dad's the same. My dad wouldn't, the idea of even when I tell him like someone cuts my lawn or like I have poop squad, people that
have a poop
shit.
people.
Yeah. Like to my dad, he laughs. He's like, you're you fucking kids, like it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
But that doesn't give you a level of maybe shame is too strong a word, but it doesn't give you a level of where you sit back and go, maybe he's right. Maybe I'm a pussy.
I feel a touch guilty at times when the guy comes to mow my lawn and I'm just sitting on my couch.
Yeah.
I hear, and I'm just sitting there watching.
I don't feel guilty that way because I'm paying him. And I know he does the whole neighborhood and he makes a good living.
Yeah.
No doubt. And honestly, that's part of economy. I mean, you're feeding the economy.
I don't feel guilty for the guy cut my grass because it's a business for him. I feel and like I said, I don't know if shame is the right word.
Guilty that you should be doing more and working hard.
Yeah, I feel like if I want to be like my dad, even okay, let's take work out of it. Let's take conservationist in that term. My dad was not wasteful at all.
Yeah, my dad.
And I'm out buying cars and I'm buying fucking shoes and I'm like, fuck, why is my
I mean, this is certainly a very much so a generational thing. And I think it also matters, what kind of money and affluent, that your parents come from. I'm assuming your parents didn't come from a lot of money. I mean, my dad grew up in, a house with no running water and nothing like that. And, middle of fucking northern Saskatchewan. And, his dad worked on grain elevators and shit. Like, I mean, it was very different. And obviously, you learn to value things a lot differently in that world. And we've grown up in a very different world. So it's hard to pin that same value to things that don't have the same as them, So
it's very odd for me because because I grew up without my dad.
Yeah.
And therefore I feel if anything, I felt the opposite. It felt shameful for him.
Yeah. But okay, but you can still use your mom for that, James. Like your mom was
no. But I mean, what I will say is this: I'm just as encouraged though.
Meaning in what way? Explain.
I'm encouraged by the absence.
To be a better man, you mean?
Yes, because something not being there and you looking at that, for me personally, is a lesson in what not to be.
Yeah, of course.
And has given me, I wouldn't have done well in bodybuilding unless I had some dirty resilience.
Yeah.
And that resilience came from, I'm not going to be a quitter like my dad.
Yeah.
Who has 2 children and walks out on them because he can't handle being a fucking dad.
Yeah.
So that's where every time I wanted to give up in, say, bodybuilding, I'm like the opposite. Instead of thinking, oh, do you know what?
Like, I can't be like him. I got to be better.
Yeah, I was like, fuck that. Like, why am I going to turn out like this fucking plonker?
Yeah.
Okay, but on the flip side, James, if you look at your mom, you always talk about how her work ethic was so strong and her, she's able to raise 2 kids by herself, and obviously that took, saving money and all these things. And we've grown up, and you have 9 pairs of fucking rollerblades, and you have do you ever look and go, how come I didn't get her conservationist attitude or non-wasteful attitude? Like, I feel guilty because my dad made 40 grand a year and raised 5 kids. If
I can live on my own for 40 grand.
And even on the flip side of that, like, my dad came from nothing but ended up making a lot of money, but he still lived the same.
That's what
my dad still, like, he was here yesterday. He's wearing jeans that are hand-me-downs from mine from when I was 12 that he's got patches in.
I know.
He came in once wearing a hat the other day that said D12 M&M on it. I'm like, Dad, do you even know what this is? What are you wearing? Like, this is mine from grade 7. But it's that's a good hat. You had it. It was there.
It works. It still fits on my head.
Still wears throwback shirts of mine that.
And when we go hunting, all my hunting equipment's new, and it's flashy and fancy, and I'll use it one season, fucking damage something or whatever. Yeah. My dad's using all his equipment that he's had from 1965 that his first wife gave him for his fucking birthday, and and it's in pristine condition.
My dad's kind of like myself though, where he does nice shit. He's always buying nice new stuff for his motorcycle and decking out his shit, getting new motorcycle gear to match his.
And I think everybody has a thing. I mean, my dad's the same. He has a motorcycle and he has a nice truck and stuff like that, but and the things that he thinks are not valuable to him, like him wearing fancy clothes or, wearing, fucking $700 sunglasses.
My dad's wearing glasses he got at Costco for $20
at the gas station for 20. Yeah. Exactly. James, you were going to say something about learning from your mother because you're not really like her, or are you? Or do you ever feel shameful or wasteful or?
I don't feel shameful because I'm not a conservative person with items, but then I'm I think that's coming from her not being here anymore, because I'm you just got to fucking have what you want if you want it.
Well, and I don't think we should.
Wait, that's a good point of view, because I think can you explain that a bit? Sorry, Justin. I just want to explain. Is that because she's gone and you feel like life is short, or what is it?
Yeah, because it's okay, I think if she was still here, and if there was opportunity to have had some things that she fancied having, but she thought at the time, maybe I shouldn't because I should be a bit more conservative. Maybe her mindset would have been different if she knew that she had borrowed time. It's a lesson to me to be you know what? Sometimes you just got to fucking have what you want if you can, because you've worked hard.
I think that's
James. You live in my head. Point. Justin, go on. Say sorry.
No. I think that's a great point. And I don't think any of us should ever feel guilty for wanting nice things, especially when we all work hard and make good money and we can afford these things.
But wait, I just want to explain. It's not about not wanting that. I'm not talking about materially. My father was, and my mother were like very, very financially conscious, obviously because they had to be. And so when I'm just blowing money left and right, I'm like, you're such an asshole. Your parents would not be proud of you.
Yeah,
the way you're spending.
I feel that sometimes too. I agree.
But at the same time, I just think of what James said, and it's very, very, it's in my mind all the time, because I'm like, well, my mom and dad have passed recently. You know, Luke passed, John passed, Cedric has passed, and I'm like, you know, Cedric is 44. I'm turning 44 in like 2 months.
You know, I think you touched on this when we were in Tampa, and that dinner was very expensive. But you said you didn't give a shit because it was about the experience.
When I was drunk and I made that speech.
You were drunk and you made a great speech. But it was true. I mean, we had a ton of fun, and you can't replace those moments. And the fucking $1,000 you spent on dinner, who gives a shit? It was worth it.
Who gives a fuck? Yeah.
I gotta tell you guys, after John passed, that became, you know, obviously my parents passed, but they're older, so you feel like, okay, at least they lived a full life. Like my mom was 81 and my dad was 80.
Yeah.
When John passed at 49, I was like, you know what? Who fucking knows if I'm going to make it to 50 or 60? So if I want to buy a motorcycle, I'm buying a fucking motorcycle. If I want to
Listen,
buy
the way I look at it,
yeah,
is as long as it doesn't put you in a position now where you suffer.
Yeah.
Financially,
or where you're
suffer like
affecting anybody else with your decisions.
Yeah. Then please do, because again, you have to also look at this. I make more money than my mother ever did. That's not her fault or my fault. It is what it is. Yeah. So therefore, if I can afford things, I will have them, because if she could have afforded, she might have.
I'm also not on board with the work to die mentality. I think if you work, you should be able to work and reap the benefits of that in adding some kind of quality to your lifestyle. And for you, that is getting a fucking $40,000 Harley and ripping down the road, then that's what it is. I mean, you know, I completely agree with that.
You know, honestly, I measure a lot of my success based on how much free time I can allocate myself, and not in a lazy sense, in a quality of life sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean about that.
It's not that I think a lot of people overvalue this nonstop grind, this 60-hour work week.
I agree with that.
There's the fucking quality of life in that. No. You know, I like that on a Wednesday I can just go to the, you know, coast with my wife, and my businesses are taken care of because I have employees.
That's what I'm referring to when I'm saying the work to die mentality of people. That's just like, I have to work. It's like, for what then? Your whole life has gone by. You've worked for a ton of stuff that you haven't taken the time to enjoy.
You didn't enjoy any of it.
Your life, enjoy the things that you could be doing. I mean, look, I think we should all work hard, and there's benefits to that. But I also think that you need to realize that life is short and unpredictable, and you only get one. And you don't want to be on your deathbed and be like, shit, I should have done this more. I should have worked less. I should have spent more time with my wife, with my mom, with my dad. You know, it's like, you got one, just fucking use it. You know,
it sounds really stupid.
It's not that there's not plenty of times where we absolutely are married to the grind. We can't allocate
some of us
those
just
times.
Well, we like it. So
to some degree, especially early on.
I think a lot of people find peace in it as well.
Yeah. And sometimes I think people enjoy that, but for me, that's not really my measuring stick of success.
Me neither.
No, I think, and not to finish on a stupid note, but I think that's part of the reason why I want to get that camper. Because it's such a childhood thing to think I'm going to get a camper and I'm going to drive around this. But in my mind, in my other part of my mind, I'm like, if I die when I'm 50, I'd be like, at least I got in this fucking camper and I drove to California in it.
I'll say this: my brother just spent $50,000 on an RV last year.
Did he?
And I watched him and his family and his kids just drive to the coast and camp in their RV. And it's fucking beautiful, man.
I mean, you've heard me tell my stories that I'm doing that with my dad. That's some of my best memories I have in my life.
What I always tell them, like, your kids are going to remember that for the rest of their lives.
To now, that's still some of the best memories I have.
Yeah. Amazing.
Go ahead, the way I look at it as well, is, I'm not being funny, Fouad, when you even brought that up and you started talking about it, you started smiling. That says it all.
Because it makes me feel this is the problem.
Exactly.
In
so
my head,
what's more valuable? What is more valuable than having those feelings as frequently as you can in life?
Yes. Well, the only reason I haven't done it yet is because I'm like, do I really want it, or does it just sound like a good idea?
Well, you don't know until you try, do you? Buy a fucking RV. If you don't like it, sell it.
I see a childlike excitement in your face.
It looks so crazy. Doesn't it sound stupid? You got a fucking a house. You're pulling a house.
You'll never know till you do it. I mean, you do it. You drive around for a season. You're like, this was fucking boring. Well, then you did it, and you don't have any regret about it.
And get rid of it.
But life can look like this. Yeah. Or it can look like this.
Yeah.
Do that. Do that.
Yeah.
Fuck doing that.
Yeah. I don't share the same feeling with life as I do with my steroid injection cycle, you know? I don't want very even. I don't want to shoot every day and have the same every day, you know?
Yeah,
peaks and valleys all day on that shit.
I don't want a lot of I don't want a lot of valleys though. Come on.
Yeah, but with peaks come valleys, and that's just life. And I think
maybe those valleys
but
are
you combat them with those peaks.
Maybe those valleys are just downtime where you're at home and you're relaxed.
Yeah, I'm not saying deep depression and fucking like, you know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
I'll let you guys go, but I can't remember who said this. It threw me off. They said, Ian, it might have been you, or it was somebody. I can't remember who it was, but they said when we all meet up, it's actually worse for them because when they have to get home, they go back to normal life. I don't think it was Ian. Was it Roman?
No, it was me talking about someone else.
Yeah, you were telling me about somebody who said they couldn't come out to do these things with us. Oh, it was Mark. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, Mark. Sorry, we didn't mean to out you, Mark.
No, but I talked about it on the podcast, I think, already, so it's okay. I mean,
yeah, but he was saying he didn't want to do stuff with you on the weekends that are in various cities or whatever, because he would just have to go home to his normal life.
Yeah.
So that peak was really high, but then the valley was too low for him.
So too low that he's like, fuck, I don't want to go like do all these fun things because I have to go home and live by myself, and it's like depressing after, you know?
Yeah, but then if you don't do them at all, then you have no memories.
Exactly. I agree. I mean, he knows it's wrong. When we discussed this, he's like, I know this is something I need to work on, but it's very hard for me to get through at this point, and I'm trying to work on it, you know?
I think what I've had to work on is forcing myself to have those memories because I hate flying. I hate going places. I'm very much a homebody.
Yeah.
But I mean, just this year, all the traveling we did, fuck, I had so many good memories from all the times we met up.
I mean, I didn't want to go to that last Texas trip. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you had a great time.
I think this is one thing that I actually pride myself in, at least, is that which is funny because in most of my values, I'm very right-wing conservative, but in trait openness, which is actually a very liberal quality, I'm very high in trait openness. Like, I'm willing to do anything. I'll try anything new. I'll do anything. If you ask me to come do something, I'm like, sure, I'll do it. Like, I literally don't care. I'm willing to do anything once and do anything. And I think that's one of the things that's made most of my best experiences is doing things even when I initially didn't feel that I want to do it, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, also being gay is part of your left side.
Yes, that too. My acceptance for the gays,
for the gays,
for the gays.
You know what? Thanks for finishing the podcast that way. Those conversations are valuable for me. Yeah. So anyway, okay, all boys, right, I'm gonna let you go. James, I'm sure you're fucking hungry.
Yeah, I'm starving.
Talk to you guys next week.
All right, we'll see you guys.
All right, boys. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, share with your friends, and like the video. And if you get a chance, check out the description for all the different links to all the different places you can find Hosstile and myself. And lastly, check out hosstile.com for our new line of supplements and all of our apparel and gear. Thanks again for watching.